What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Liberal Loudmouth. All right, so we're getting started this Saturday afternoon. Technically it's 3 minutes after noon. So it is technically afternoon. Welcome in, welcome aboard. Come on in. Let me tell my peeps that I am live. Okay, we are live. Actually, can I share this? I don't know. Let us see. Anti-establishment. Bat signal. Chat. No, okay, that's weird. I can send it to people, but I can't send it to my group. What's up, y'all? Come on in, guys. Come on in. We're just getting started. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you, man. You're welcome to come up here because this shit's fucking funny. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this shit is fucking funny. I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to listen to MAGA fucking cry over this. Oh my God. Oh, God damn it. That link doesn't work. Motherfucker. All right, hold on. Let me get a different link. Get a better link. Son of a bitch. All right, I'm live. One second. Son of a bitch. How do I share this bitch? Live. Mute myself. There's a fucking share button when you need it. Oh, well. If there's somebody in my bad signal chat, please share this to there. I don't know why the fuck it won't let me share it there. There's another link. Anyway, so Donald Trump, wants everybody to believe that he's some peace fucking president, but as it turns out, that's not true. Of course, I mean, we really already knew that. I ended the war in Cambodia. And then Thailand comes out and they're like, no, you didn't, dumbass. And so they just bombed somebody. They bombed the Cambodian border. Let me pull this back up. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Fighting rages on Thai-Cambodian border. Thai-Cambodian. Oh, let me get rid of that. Thai-Cambodian border despite Trump's ceasefire claim. This idiot. So he went on, there was eight ceasefire deals he got in 8 days or whatever the fuck it was in 8 months. Fighting raged Saturday morning along the border of Thailand and Cambodia, even after U.S. President Trump, acting as mediator, declared that he had won agreement from both countries for a ceasefire. Thai officials have said they did not agree to a ceasefire, and Cambodia has not commented on Mr. Trump's claim. Its defense ministry instead said that Thai jets carried out airstrikes Saturday morning. Cambodian media reported Mr. Trump's claim without elaborating. Yeah, Thai Foreign Minister Sihasak, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, said Saturday that some of Mr. Trump's remarks didn't reflect an accurate understanding of the situation. Again, this guy, Dadu Riyadh, I'm a woman from Gaza. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Yet another one of the lies, the many, many lies that Donald Trump tells, like, I kicked Epstein out of my place. And then, Epstein's like visiting him on fucking Thanksgiving, like right before he goes to jail, and then, finds a fucking sheet wrapped around his neck. And certainly a golden lined sheet, because, everything that fucking Trump does turns to shit. What the fuck is this? Oh, let's my share real quick. God damn it. Anyway, so yeah, just another lie, and I would love to have MAGA to come up here and explain to me how they went around for like a long time claiming that Donald Trump was a peace president and he got all these peace deals, and the countries that he claimed he worked out a peace deal with said he didn't, and now they're bombing the same people. And also, can anybody explain to me why the fuck we have soldiers and troops in Syria? I thought we were out of all these wars and shit, but now we wake up to the news that I've seen accounts that 4 soldiers have unalived. I've seen other accounts that 2 soldiers were unalived. What's up, Sparky? You fellow Antifa member. We're all Antifa. We should be anyway, because if you're not Antifa, that means you're pro-Tifa. Fucking fascist. There's fascists everywhere. But the Syrian, let me pull this up real quick, in case you guys didn't see this, because I think this just actually came out this morning. Let me put these together 1 second. All right. Yeah, ISIL. I love the fucking acronyms they give to all these places. Unalives 2 U.S. soldiers interpreter in Syria's Palmyra, Pentagon says. Like, why are we even there? What are we doing? Right? What are we doing? And apparently, Ehud Barak had spent 30 trips to fucking Epstein's Island. And one of the things that they were trying to get people to do was take us to Syria and Iran. They wanted him to be able to work people over to get into Syria and Iran. And so they got the Iran part and now the Syria part, huh? So, like, is this all based on, like, the shit that Epstein was doing? All this crap that we're seeing? Of course, Wesley Clark, I know that he had, talked about they were going to invade 7 countries in 5 years. Iran and Syria being 2 of those countries. But again, the Epstein shit was happening at the same time. So, like, was Epstein the one that was, pushing all of this stuff for us to go into these countries? I think there may be an argument to be made there. Of course, Netanyahu comes in front of our Congress and, is still trying to push us into war and shit. Let's see, 300 million members of Antifa, 30 million MAGA terrorist members. Ain't that the goddamn truth, Sparky? They just going around everywhere cutting ties. Who is Miss Chaos? Who were you talking about? Also, and I forgot to play this the other day. Well, I'll get to that later. That's kind of a side point. But since I'm talking about Epstein, let me pull this up if you haven't seen it. Because we know these politicians are fucking compromised. Woody Allen, who, I showed his picture the other day, is not sorry about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. That's an interesting tact to take, right? Where he just comes out, he's like, I'm not sorry. I fucking love that guy. You know how many kids he brought to me? I mean, I don't have any quotes that he said that, but I mean, here you go. Like, he was all up. There were several pictures of Woody Allen that come in here. So everybody else is like trying to distance themselves. Woody Allen's like, nah, I'm fucking old. Fuck it. I loved it. We had great times together, me and Epstein. And so this guy had ingratiated himself into all of these places. And then it all ties back into like Syria and shit that we're doing now. Now we're in there, we're getting unalived. And so Donald Trump and Pete Kegsbreath are about to go fucking nutso crazy and probably go through and start booming Syria. Like, oh my God, ISIL is there. ISIL is there, just, doing exactly what fucking Israel is doing in Gaza. Oh my God, it's Hamas. Hamas is everywhere. Hamas is under the table. Hamas is under the bed. Hamas is everywhere. So I'm going to take off your fucking head. That's what they do. And now we're doing it too. Like, all tying back into these fucking same individuals. It's fucking nuts, y'all. Let me go to the comments here. Hold on, multitasking. Okay. The EU is selling American bonds at cut rate prices. Trump doesn't value the truth. Well, that's for sure. It's Sparky. None of MAGA does. I got the pretzel here in the prompt because that's what I know they're going to do. They're going to pretzel. Yeah, but Biden, I'm sure, is going to be spoken many, many times. It sounds to me like they're trying to cut ties and destroy evidence by suppressing G-sides. Interesting. Like cut ties with Israel? I'm sorry, I'm still not following. Right, and then now has nothing to lose. Who has nothing to lose? Oh, Epstein. Oh, right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's possible. Of course, they like booming people with that have skin that is not white. They've been doing this for a long time now, hundreds of years, because they are just white supremacists, and that's what we're dealing with. That said, I also have this other thing that I was going to bring up. Let me change my prompt here for a second. Mike Levin has proposed term limits for Supreme Court. And, of course, MAGA's in the comment section of this Twitter post talking about, because you guys are losing, you want to change the rules. So let's read through this here together. I'm a proud sponsor to a bill to set 18-year term limits for Supreme Court justices. An 18-year term with one new justice appointed every 2 years will bring balance and predictability. No more strategic retirements, just a steady, fair process that restores trust. This reform keeps the court independent. Justices would still serve with distinction, then continue contributing as senior judges the same way it already works across much of the federal judiciary. Nearly every state uses some form of term limits or reappointment for their highest courts. It strengthens the system without politicizing it. Lifetime appointments give individuals extraordinary power for far too long. Term limits don't weaken the court. They modernize it and make it accountable. This is a practical, common sense step to strengthen our democracy for the long run. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Because the moment that you get to one of those justices, you've got 20, 30, 40 fucking years to buy them off like Clarence Thomas and his goddamn RV paid for by the billionaire class, and his fucking white supremacist wife, Jenny Thomas, who, from all accounts that I can see, had a hand in J6, had pushed rhetoric about that. We've got a fucking traitorous Supreme Court justice now, and we've got to find a way to make sure that people can replace these bitches, because these people suck. They suck. And every president, in my opinion, should have the ability to replace one of them, or two in this case. If you have a 4-year term, you replace them every 2 years. Every president will be able to appoint 2 justices. That seems fair. And eventually it will become fair. And so anybody that complains about this and says it's not a good idea wants the partisan court. That's what they want, because right now we've got this court that is handing congressional authority over to the president of the United States to turn this into a goddamned authoritarianism. That's what they're doing. We're watching it in fucking real time. For example, there is no immunity in the Constitution for the president. There isn't. And yet they created it out of thin air. And so, this is a result of this Heritage Foundation shit they've been pushing really since the 80s. They bought up all the fucking radio stations. They bought up, all of these local papers. They started consolidating all these things, these corporations, to push the party that was going to help them the most. And now we see what that turns into. It turns into a fucking gerrymandered court that's full of sycophantic fucking white, Christian nationalists, if you want to call them that, who will support this Christian nationalist movement. It's fucking gross. And we've got to stop it. So Mike Levin has it right. I'd love to hear somebody coming up here to say that it shouldn't happen and explain the reasons why it shouldn't happen, because honestly, I feel like this is something that Democrats and Republicans will both want. I believe that. I think that it makes sense to me that we would limit these fucking terms, because then you won't have too many liberal justices and you won't have too many, conservative justices. Now, let me go through here, the comments section real quick, see if there is any disagreement, actually. 18 years is still a long time, though. Well, sure. But, 18 years is better than fucking forever, and then once they're able to, and think about this, eventually they're going to be able to print your organs, right? So you need a new heart? Okay, we'll print you one. And they'll do this this is coming, guys. This isn't like, conspiracy fucking Terminator, the year 3000 shit. This is coming around the corner. They're already successfully doing it with your own DNA. They can 3D print fucking organs. And eventually, will they just reprint all of this shit? Right?
Oh, God, livers. Shut up, cuck. Nobody believes anything you say. Shut the hell up. Jesus Christ. You still believe there's a gender pay gap. Go on. Tell me about it.
Well, first of all, gender pay gap isn't.
No. Explain.
Okay, first of all, there isn't a gender pay gap as you probably would put it, and we're not talking about that. So, if you want to talk about, and guys, again, look, this. Do you see how the first person that comes up here just immediately starts crashing out? Do you see that? And I'm having to sit here and mute this person. This guy is not shutting up.
No.
Is it? And look at this. This guy will sit up here. Let's see how long this person will stick to unmuting himself. As an experiment, let's see how long this person will sit up here and keep clicking this unmute button. Let's see how long he'll sit up here. Like the dedication that these fucking Zios have. And I can already tell he's a fucking Zionist. So Schlimmer, whatever the fuck your name is, we're not talking about gender pay gaps. If you want to address the Supreme Court term limits, then we could do that. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll address it. You're a fucking idiot, and you can't handle anybody that doesn't like and love you like a fucking sycophant. Isn't that right? Tell these people
is this Socrates?
Every time you don't hear something,
Okay, this is Socrates. It sounds like Socrates. I'm pretty sure this is Socrates. I could be wrong because, he does sound like somebody whose balls haven't dropped yet. And see, look, as soon as I called him out, he dropped. Guys, Socrates, for example, last night said that he hopes that I lose my house and that my family has to go live under a bridge. And this man is so in love with me and so fucking obsessed with me that he comes up on the panel to just derail, to just scream, to just say crazy fucking shit. Like, guys, they love me. They can't get enough of me. They hate me because they love me, and they can't stand that they love me because they just keep coming back for more. For example, they probably thought I wouldn't go live today. Well, bitches, I'm still here. Fuck you. I had to sleep because I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning last night combating this group of fucking Zionist scumbuckets who do nothing but try and unalive my life. Like I told you guys before, like I told Connor, you're going to have to kill me. Okay, you're going to have to fucking put a boom boom in my car and unalive me. So barring that, don't expect me to go away. Socrates, that includes you and your little fucking, shit stain that comes up to defend you all the time, right? Because you're not a man enough to do it yourself. And then you come in with these fake ass accounts like a little bitch because you're not a man. And you come up here and cry and whine. Last night, this guy was literally on the fucking panel crying, which is ironic. Because he came up once under another fake account saying that I was crying like a bitch. And then he comes up there literally on the verge of tears. It was actually kind of delicious. So Socrates, if you want to come up and be a man, if that was you, and please, in the comments, if you don't think that was Socrates, let me know, because it sounded like him, right? I don't know for sure, because these fucking Zios, they, like half of them, their balls haven't dropped yet, and so they kind of sound that, and they got that whiny, high-pitched Justin Timberlake fucking voice, like walking around with Rabbi Shmuley's dildos shoved directly into their fucking anus. And then that's just how they talk, I guess. Like a fucking sea otter. Anyway, let me go through some of these comments. This should be funny. All right, let's see. So 18 years is a long time. There should be a limit on how many people a president can appoint to. That's a good point. So, like, RJ, would that mean like if they had appointed one already and then somebody unalives during their presidency, that next appointment should go to another president? Or, because at some point you'd have to replace those that were unalived. So I don't know. Interesting point. Let's see. Dem House after midterms can impeach and remove, as they should, universal health care with an executive order next Dem president. Thank you, Sparky, because apparently you can run this government via executive order. And that's what Donald Trump is doing, because he can't figure out how to fix shit. He knows how to break it. Like, he's really good at that. If you need a fucking casino bankrupted, he's your guy. He's got that down pat. I feel like you have to try, like, to to bankrupt a casino since it's rigged in their favor. I feel like you actually have to like legitimately try to bankrupt them. So if you need a casino bankrupted, just bring Donald Trump in, have him run it, and it will be bankrupted before you know it. Maybe there's like insurance that you can get from that. Who knows? So Sabrina says, what the fuck? Miss Schlimmer, what is that, baby bottle? Yo, Jules says, good afternoon, Jules. Good to see you. Johnny is laughing. What's up, Johnny? Let me guess, he be yelling already. Oh, this dude came up. His fucking, I guess his balls had ran up inside of himself. And so he was upset by that. Jules is laughing. The guy's a paid bot or his brother. That's funny. Charles is laughing. It would fit. He never shuts up either. Last night was wild as fuck. Yeah, last night was crazy. But guys, I'm talking about this, group that I've disassociated myself from. Apparently, you're not allowed to block people. Right? That is what I heard last night, is that you're not allowed to block people unless, you can prove that they've done something wrong, which is fucking weird. But then in trying to prove that I'm a bad person, they make my point that there is this large group of individuals who have been working behind the scenes to do the shit that they've been doing. I'm like, thank you, Messi. You messy bitch. You come up there proving my point while claiming that you're disproving my point. Yeah, okay. You fucking mole-ass bitches. Can't get enough of me. Y'all can't stay away from me. It's weird, but hey, I mean, I guess I kind of love it because you guys just keep coming at me. You just keep coming around me. We can't get enough of liberal loudmouth. We just want to just be in all of his spaces. We're going to slide in there and pretend like we're his friends because we just can't stay away from that man. It's kind of weird. A little stalkery. Last night was wild as fuck. Heard it. That was a trip. Dang, did you record it? It's all being recorded. It's all streamed over to my YouTube, so we'll get that. I felt bad for Olive, though, because they talked about her, too. Yeah, and see, this is unfortunate, and I actually tried to warn Olive about this because I was watching happen to her and the same crowd of people, like, coming around her that was doing it to me. And so I warned about it, and, I guess to her credit, she is independent thinker. She does what she believes is right, which is great, but I have a radioactive bubble around me, right? If you are defending me or you are in my space, you are giving me any kind of credit whatsoever, they will come after you. And sadly, I'm afraid that they're going to do the same thing to Olive. Hopefully not, because she wasn't a part of any of that. But yeah, it was fucked up last night. Abolish SCOTUS. Daniel Gomez, how would you abolish SCOTUS? Like, what would you replace it with? Just generally the federal courts? I've often thought about doing where if the majority of the lower courts rule a certain way, like that should supersede the Supreme Court, because it's weird because the Supreme Court is often filled with people who were in the federal bench in the lower court. So they're all really the same judges, right? There's nothing special about the Supreme Court justices. They're all the same kind of fucking judges, right? So if you got a bunch more than just the 9 saying one thing, and then these 9 people are like, no, we disagree with that, and we don't follow any of our ethical guidelines, and therefore we are correct. That seems weird to me that we operate in that way. I feel like if more judges than, what are on the fucking Supreme Court rule a certain way, they should go with that. Or maybe it's like a weighted system. Thank you for the likes. Let's see, maybe just a temporary person, possible. Bankrupting a casino is crazy. All of his appointmentee stuff is about to expire, and he's pissed. Oh, right, the people that he put in there, like, temporarily, because, he doesn't even want to go through any of the channels that he's supposed to. Sometimes going bankrupt is smart. You save a lot on taxes, genius. Michael John says, bankrupting a casino is smart. Bankrupting a casino makes you a smart person. Really, Michael John? You think bankrupting a casino where it's literally rigged in your favor, instead of just, making a profit, don't bother with that. No. Just bankrupt them. You've overextended yourself. You made bad business decisions, and you can't afford it, so purposely bankrupt yourself. Yeah, that speaks to a real good business owner, right? A real good businessman. I say, art of the steal. Steal, baby, steal. Why drill when you can steal? This is the guy that's leading our country, for the record. All of his, let's see, 6 times bankruptcy. Right, Charles. That makes him 6 times better than any businessman who successfully got their business off the ground without a single bankruptcy. The more bankruptcies that you have, the better a businessman you are, right? Tell me that makes any sense? It makes no sense. But it doesn't matter to MAGA because they will pretzel themselves. I'm going to call, Donald Trump here. Oh, he'll love him. He's so great. He loves white people just like me. Let's see. You're somewhat right. We just like to see what's the new insane topic of the fucking day. I'm not sure what that relates to. Yes, 16 years works or the rotation among the federal judges. Can we troll Erica Kirk-Owitz today? Speaking of that, I'm actually glad that you brought that up, Johnny, because I was going to play this clip earlier, but I'm like, it's irrelevant to what I'm talking about. There's this video. This is so weird. I clipped this the other day because I was actually going to talk about it, but then we got sidetracked on other shit. But I didn't actually get a chance to speak on it. Let me play this. It's very short, but it says something, right? Let me pull this up here. There we go. This fake ass fucking lady who is grieving in very weird ways, but whatever.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
She says she has his cell phone. I'm sorry. In a murder investigation, you're telling me that the FBI didn't take his goddamn phone? Is that what you want me to believe, Erica? Why would Kash Patel not confiscate that goddamn phone? In a murder investigation, they will, every time, take the phone. They will take the electronic devices, and that they do that to paint the most wide and broad image and, context of the situation to understand exactly what may or may not have happened. Unless you already know that the person that, had been threatening this man wasn't ever going to be investigated. And I say person, but in this case, an entity, unless you want to call Mossad a person. No. Let's not investigate the people that he had stated to others was going to, unalive him. He was afraid that Israel was going to unalive him. He told this to multiple people. And let's not investigate that. No. Because this is normal, just everyday practice for law enforcement officials who are investigating something, right? They're like, well, we know that he had told somebody that he believed person X was going to murder him. We know that's true, but, we're just not going to look into that because there was this other guy like the Dairy Queen and stuff. We seen this guy, he had a cap on and a disappearing fucking rifle. He shoved it up his ass and it disappeared, and he was able to walk up to the top of the roof and just, pull it out of his butthole, clean it up a little bit, and fire a shot into the neck of this other person. Bullshit. You investigate the people who the person who was murdered says he believes is going to murder him. I think this person's going to murder him. Doesn't matter. We're not going to investigate that at all. No. And we don't worry, Erica. We don't need his phone. All right. We don't need the phone. Just keep going. These people are full of shit. They can't even get their bad stories right. They're not intelligent individuals. Kash Patel, Erica Kirk, these are not smart people. But they don't have to be because they're so deceptive, just like the other people around this situation that we're seeing right in front of our fucking eyes. It's all deception. This is interesting. I've got 76 people watching, not a single request, except for who I believe to be Socrates coming up here telling me that his balls never dropped which is interesting. Thank you for that information, Socrates. I'm glad that we now know. But 76 people and not a single request. That's I wonder who's watching. Guys, if you hate me, tap the fucking screen, please. Johnny, be good, Johnny. And of course, the one that does come up isn't going to fucking. What's up, John?
Good morning, liberal. You got me cracking up here, man.
This shit's so fucking weird. He shoved it up his ass. He walked up the fucking stairs. He's been practicing with Rabbi Shmuley's fucking 14-inch dildo. Oh, and here comes Headley. This should be fun. But Headley, before I let you come up here and sexually assault me, Johnny, please go ahead. I'm going to go grab some water. I'll be right back. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to take a call here in a sec. I don't know if you heard me, but you got me cracking up, man. The disappearing rifle shoved up his ass. I mean, that kind of line, if Dan Bilzerian or Theo Vaughn or these Joe Rogans would actually grow a set, I mean, Dan Bilzerian, to his credit, he's savage. He's not afraid to say anything, just like you. But, I mean, these kinds of things, which just it's utterly insane that they are literally painting a narrative like the C-19. Trust the science. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Mask. Wait, double mask. Wait, oh, triple mask. That'll work. And you know, I would personally love to see TPUSA go absolutely bankrupt. I don't believe anybody should buy Charlie Kirk's book because I don't believe it was finished by him. And I don't even believe that any of the content that he wrote about the Sabbath is probably even his own words anymore. I don't trust a single fucking bit of these bastards.
Yeah, I don't trust them either. I mean, they lie all the time. Real quick, Headley, before I bring you up so that you can jerk off to my hair, let's see. Shlomo Shekelblatt?
Yes.
Welcome in, Shlomo Shekelblatt.
Hello, Whiteoid. Do we meet again, kind sir?
Oh, do you know this person, Johnny?
Whiteoid is the troll of trolls of TikTok. He's world famous.
Okay. Well, welcome in, troll of trolls. Grace us with your trollishness, please. Under the bridge. Go ahead.
With what? What are you guys babbling about?
I don't know yet. Why don't you tell us? What prompted you to come up? Let's just start there. We'll do like basic stuff.
I thought you were going to talk about Supreme Court stuff, but
yeah,
I can tell you right now, I'm very sick of being called a troll because I'm so much more than just.
I meant it in a loving way, Whiteoid.
Johnny, it's very hurtful though.
I don't know you, so whether you're a troll or not, I will reserve judgment.
Well, what is your attitude towards trolls?
I mean, you know, look, somebody's got to do something to entertain themselves, and if that's what you do, as long as you're not like really trying to harm somebody, it's all fun and games.
I feel like you're slighting me. I'm not trying to entertain myself. I'm trying to delight the crowd, your crowd.
Well, let's hear it. Like, give us your best.
What was your ideas on the Supreme Court, Whiteoid? I'm actually curious.
Yeah.
I think they're a bunch of fucking tight-ass lawyers. You guys could never understand how bad they are, how corrupt they are, unless you've gone through law school yourselves.
Have you gone through law school?
Yeah. And I'm one of the worst people in the world, but I'm nothing compared to practicing lawyers. And judges are the worst of us. Let me tell you.
I mean, a lot of people will agree with you. So, okay, elaborate on me, because that's the first time I've ever heard that. Elaborate on, like, what part of law school results in, like, lawyers being shitty, if you will.
It's called tort class. And what tort class is, it teaches you read all of these cases and all these scenarios whereby some unthinking, unsuspecting, normal human being is just conducting his business or living his life and unknowingly commits some minor error, okay, which results in some other poor bastard who didn't see it coming tripping and falling, or getting electrocuted, or a tree falls on his head when he's walking down the sidewalk, some injury.
Or he
Okay?
put shampoo in his eye and the bottle didn't say, don't put shampoo in your eye, right?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah. It's endless. Okay.
And those, for the record, if you are a shampoo company and you don't put that warning on there, you deserve to be sued. Okay. Sorry, go ahead,
That's right,
Shlomo.
under unsafe product legislation. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, continue. No, I love it. Go ahead.
There are armies of people.
I thought
out
you were
there.
doing wish.
Okay, Mama
I
J.
thought you guys were doing wish.
Okay, Mama J. He was talking.
There
so
are
go ahead, Shlomo.
There are armies
I'm
of
sorry.
lawyers out.
I'm
There's
sorry.
armies of lawyers out. Would you shut the
Shlomo. Oh my God, I love this guy.
There
Johnny.
are armies of white people out there who are just patrolling, looking for any little injury. I have personally gotten a large municipality to change its entire road design because one of my clients got hit by a car. She ran into the middle of the road and didn't look.
And then, so did she win?
Of course she won.
So what was the basis of her claim? Like what,
We just said the whole situation. It was a roundabout. We said the entire setup, the entire design was an unreasonably unsafe, hazardous condition. Now, it was a school on the other side of the street with an apartment building where she lived directly across from this relatively busy thoroughfare. It was, the fact of the matter is, it was not unreasonably safe. What was going on there is you have morons trying to cross the street. They're young children, total morons, not paying any attention. Their bodies bursting with all kinds of hormones, and they're not paying attention to traffic, and they think they're invincible. So kids were basically getting blasted out of there, and one of them happened to be my client, and we maxed out the insurance coverage, and then we insisted that they redesign the entire fucking roadway. Why? I don't even know why.
Is this a true story, or are you just making
No, it's a true story. It's a true story. And
is there a court case that I can look up? Because
I'm not going to give you that. But in the meantime, at the time, I felt like a big crusader for righteousness.
Right.
Yeah.
But then upon reflection, you realize, like, what the fuck are we doing? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, now at least shampoo bottles have, come with warning labels.
Dude, I have dozens of cases like that. And usually by the end of them, like, I end up caring more than the client. The clients don't even really give a shit. Once they're like over the injury or whatever, they are always over it. I'm the one who's fighting for every last nickel. I'm the one who's impassioned to make things right. But what's really going on is I'm bored shitless. I need something to fight over, and I'm getting a big paycheck out of the deal.
Yeah, that is wild. And you think that's pretty common in the industry?
I know it. I don't think I've seen it. Bro, we have corrupted everything. We bring in armies of experts, doctors, engineers, and they give the opinion they're paid to give.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this over and over again. That's a fact. Yeah.
We're corrupting everybody by cutting them a piece of the pie, right? We cut them off a little piece of the pie. We're like, look, just say this, and this much of the pie is yours. And they're like, okay, where do I sign up? People with impeccable credentials getting up on the stand, lying through their teeth for money.
For money. Yeah.
For money.
Yeah, I wonder have there been any court cases where experts were sued for lying? Are you aware of that?
No.
See, and that's fucking wild to me. Now, Poppy, I did accept your request, but you were just buffering. So if you want back up, please go ahead.
They're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to professional opinion.
But if you can prove they knowingly, adjusted it.
Dude, these people are experts at having opinions, okay?
Right.
These are the most polished.
So why don't you take that pent up energy and knowledge, Whiteoid, and do some serious judicial reform in the United States?
Dude, don't tell me what to do, man.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. You could, of course, ever since everything's so fucking corrupted at this point, unless you had the money to pay these fuckers off, I'm not sure that you'd get anywhere with it at this point.
That's right. Well, they'd execute you if you tried. If you came in and started saying, "Look, I'm gonna ignore a street crime, but I'm gonna hire an army of 100,000 lawyers and investigators to go after white collar criminals," they'd assassinate you.
Right. Yeah, that's nuts.
Liberal, this is one thing that the left and the right can truly get behind. If you start talking about, like, I want to hire an army of lawyers to investigate fraud, right? A commercial fraud, like everyone knows what's going on at mechanic stores and mechanic shops, car dealerships, what's going on at pawn shops, God only knows, but it's everywhere. Insurance companies, rental joints, like apartment complexes, the people we do business with.
What's weird to think about is the solution to that is more litigation, which perpetuates the problem. I mean, that's the current solution. That's because if a mechanic were to do these things, you'd have to sue them in civil court,
that's right.
Depending on the thing. So litigation to protect, to stop bad litigation seems weird to me. It really does. So we certainly need congressional enforcement.
I'm talking about criminal enforcement because the funny business stops when people realize, I could go to jail over a $10,000 scam I'm running on this, at this body shop.
Right. And
it's a whole different ballgame.
You know what always kind of irritated me is if somebody like a business takes money from you by telling you to clock out and then telling you to work, right? And saying if you don't do this, you're going to get fired, right? That's a civil matter. Right. That's what they'll tell you. Or your PTO or whatever gets taken from you. Civil matter. It's always a civil matter when the business is fucking you over. You take a candy bar, and that's a criminal matter. So they can steal from you. They can steal from you, and it's civil. But if you steal from them, it's criminal. Fucking weird.
No, that's not. It depends on the state that you're in, and like in my state. I know this because I worked on getting this bill passed. We have a wage theft law that employers can actually go to prison if they steal enough wages. But we also have a pathway to reclaim your wages, your PTO, stuff like that.
Yeah, how many CEOs are sitting behind bars?
None.
There you go.
Not yet. Nope.
There you go.
So liberal, that's because we give our executives limited liability, right? So they can act on behalf of the corporations without incurring personal liability, similar to what the president, like this SCOTUS opinion that granted limited immunity to the president of the United States. That came under great attack, but I've been talking about, every time I hear someone criticize it, I say, every CEO in this country has the same immunity. If he's acting within the scope of his employment duties, you can't come after him personally. You can go after the company, but you can't come after him. He's acting within the scope.
Yes, and that's the problem because they have corporate personhood, generally speaking, as a legal authority. Dollar General is a great example of this, right? Dollar General was purposely mislabeling the prices of their shit. And the person would get to the thing and maybe they weren't paying attention or whatever, and they would be overcharged for this item. They kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. If you were to take this to the cops, they just stole my $3 because they said it was one price and it wasn't another. That's a civil matter. You're going to have to take that up into a fucking small claims court, right? But if you take a $3 goddamn Snickers bar and, shove it somewhere where they can't see it, that's criminal. They steal from us constantly in little ways, especially bulk prices. Psychologically speaking, you would think, if I get the fucking 5-gallon jug of mayonnaise, I'm going to pay less, unless you really do the math on the fucking shit and you realize, holy shit, it's 3 cents more a fucking ounce for the 5-gallon jar versus the fucking 12-ounce jar, right? And they do this shit all the time. So they're stealing from people all the time. It's a civil matter. You can't take them to court over this unless it's some fucking class action lawsuit where every fucking plaintiff gets like 3 cents at the end of the day and the lawyer gets $12 million.
Yes.
It's fucking gross.
I've seen these. I call these mini frauds. They're happening everywhere.
Yep.
We know they're happening. They're easy to spot. They're very easy to spot. When you smell a rat, you're like, this is fucking bullshit. You know what's going on there? It's called a mini fraud. They're defrauding you, but they know you can't just go down the street. They know they've got a captive audience, and they're just like, fuck you. What are you going to do about it? You're going to sue us over $50?
Right.
No, you're going to suck it up. You're going to suck it up like everyone else is going to suck it up.
Yeah.
So I one time last time I lived in an apartment, it was like 10 years ago. It was a great apartment. It was a brand new structure. And they made me sign a 27-page contract. I had to sign 27 times, an initial and like 50 different times. All this for a 1-year fucking lease. It's like, what is this going on here? And then at the end, I got a phone call, and it was like, we're calling to sell you your renter's insurance. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it was part of your contract. I'm like, renter's insurance for what? They're just like, well, just for whatever. And I'm said, okay, well, how much is it? She's like, it's $50. I'm like, okay, whatever. What all is covered? She goes, oh, everything inside your apartment. I said, so if a hurricane comes and wipes everything out, that's covered? She's like, yeah. I said, what if it's an act of war? Would that be covered? And she said, yes. Now, that's how I knew it was a lie. Okay. No act of war. Every insurance policy ever written excludes an act of war. They don't cover acts of war, and they're never going to cover an act of war because the potential liability is unlimited. So this is another example of a mini fraud, but they're every fucking where. And what are you going to do? I'm a fucking lawyer. You know what I did about it? Nothing.
It's a waste of time. It's going to cost you more of your time, which is money, than you'll get out of it.
And this is where I got inspired to start talking about politicians running on having an army of lawyers and investigators specifically devoted to tracking down and busting commercial fraud, because it is everywhere. And the people are fucking enraged by it. You'll never hear a single politician
as they should be.
Crime.
Yeah, as they should be. It really is fucking gross, and it disillusions a lot of people because they realize this system is not designed to work for me. It's been protecting these pukes for a long time, doing these very things, like a lot of the toxic shit that Dollar General was putting out there. It was harming people. Yeah, fucking good luck. Good luck with your class action lawsuit and your $12 that you get out of the fucking $70 million fucking lawsuit. The lawyers get everything. It really is just gross.
Dude, it's really demoralizing too. Like, if you think about how depressing it is, like if you listen to how we're talking about it, we're aware of it. We're not alone. Spread this demoralization factor out across 350 million Americans. You're losing a shitload of potential productivity just from the depressive aspect of these fucking frauds all over the place.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Shlomo.
No, you're right.
It's a pleasure so far. I was going to get to Mama J, and Mama J dropped off. So, Mama J, if you want to come back, you're welcome to. I was going to get to you, but Nadine, since you're in here, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard the Crazy Train. What's up? Would you like to weigh in?
Hey, I saw that you're talking about term limits. I love some term limits for the Supremes, but I think they should be 20 years.
20.
I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a proposal. I think
there is.
Here's what I know, because being
years.
in Oklahoma, I noticed that the term limits. I understand the idea of it, but I also understand the brain drain when they leave. 8 years is not long enough. Like, we have 8 years here in Oklahoma, and then it takes several years for you to get into it and get your feet underneath you and get rolling, and then before you know it, your time is up.
Right.
So I think 20 years is a reasonable time limit, because you can get to where you know what you're doing, but then you have the protection, and the protection's important. It's like teachers with tenure. It's important because it protects you from people just deciding they want to slap you around a little bit because they don't like the way that you think. And it's like, well, I'm protected. So
but that's
you don't have to like what I think.
Doing.
But I think 20 years, 25 years, I think is more than, and then let them retire. And I think
You
that
can
should be
amend
for
the
across the
Constitution.
board, the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court.
Are you
Yeah.
going to amend the Constitution?
I would love to amend the Constitution. I also know that it's virtually impossible at this point.
Yeah, well,
We are so divided.
one could argue that, you know, Nadine, you got echo, so I'm going to mute you when you're not talking. You know, one could argue that by allowing them to remain as paid and having them do other tasks after their, you know, tenure still remains in office, you know, in good standing or whatever, you know, based on the language of the clause. I don't remember what the clause is called or the exact verbiage.
I'm
because-
sorry, I had my Bluetooth speaker on, turned it off.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, no, you know, because I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's something like, you know, shall be appointed while they're on good behavior or some shit like that. And some have argued that means that they're allowed to stay there forever. And I mean, I feel like you could make the argument aside from that. What do you think? You being a lawyer, Shlomo, like, what is the general consensus there?
The general consensus for me is that judges have way too much power. It's fucking ludicrous. But the problem is, like, I mean, at this point, the Congress is inept. So it must rather have the Supreme Court vested with all this authority rather than Congress. Congress are paid whores.
That's it. That's right.
But who would you like to see have the power if it wasn't the judges?
Me personally, so I'm just going to come around and I'm going to say it. The president. If I'm a fascist at this point. The other branches are completely broken. At least with the president, we all get to vote him in. He only serves 2 4-year terms, and then he's gone. We select a new guy. Just give the president true, complete across-the-board authority.
But look at what
That's
this
my
president
opinion.
is doing with that power now, and we
He's
don't.
not doing enough.
He's a fascist.
Well,
Not nearly fascistic enough.
So Shlomo, let's take your scenario, where, you know, essentially a monarch, whatever, an elected monarch with term limits. How do you offer or add checks and balances to that to ensure that they don't just run absolutely rampant, you know, and just go in and take over the media companies? You know what I mean? How do you prevent that without that congressional oversight? You know, because we can all agree that Congress has not been doing their jobs properly, right? I think we can all agree. But the fact that they set it up that way to do it is good, or at least the good intentions, but it's broken right now. We can still fix it. So how do you, with just the president, do that?
I want to explore that
Sure.
with you, liberal. So explain to me, because we do agree that Congress is broken. I mean, they are paid whores, literally. Do you believe there's prospect for them not being broken at some point in the future? Because I honestly, I don't see it.
Yes, I think
Really?
there are mechanisms by which you can, you know, if you make it easier to recall, for example, officials, if you can do various things, have panels where people, like juries, for example, to review the motherfuckers to see how they're doing, a fucking yearly review or something. I mean, you can do all kinds of different weird things, even just getting into the abstract to try and combat some of that. But I mean, you're right. It's, you know, the system itself. Like senators, for example, you know, they used to be appointed and they swapped out of that because they were so fucking corrupt, and they were just like, oh, well, you sucked me off last Friday. Let's make you a senator. You know.
They were at least accountable to their states, though, when they were getting sucked. You're talking about when they were appointed by the legislatures? That was better. Yeah, that was better because they were answerable. It's better to be answerable to a whole legislature, you know, in a discrete state than it is to be answerable to fucking Palantir, Google, Microsoft, and Raytheon and JP Morgan. Don't you agree? Who the fuck is JP Morgan? They're just some commercial enterprise. I don't give a at least the legislatures I can vote against those pricks.
But when the state legislatures are also corrupted, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because this is happening too, then the Senate being, you know, appointed by them, it's the same outcome, you know what I mean, generally speaking. So I guess you could make the argument that
at least they're like, I get what you're saying and I don't disagree, but at least they're the locus of their corruption is oriented toward their home state instead of what we have now, which they're oriented towards, corporate interests globally. What the fuck are the senators doing over in Ukraine?
Yeah.
And stomping around Gaza.
Or Israel. I served you as mayor. No, I would love Shlomo. Beth is really engaged in government and how it operates, the mechanisms, shit. I would love to hear your thoughts, Beth. Please go ahead.
So all of these things can be true at once, right? We have seen when Congress has been very effective, or more effective, I should say. There was a time when there was no theatrics, but there was actually policy passed. And slowly over the last 3 or 4 decades, you've seen more theatrics versus actual policy making. But let me ask you this. What's the responsibility of the people who vote? What's the responsibility as the people who are supposed to be monitoring, who are supposed to be engaged, informed, and literally speaking with our elected officials and monitoring what they're doing? Jim Jordan has been in office for 18 years now and hasn't passed a single bill. So what's the responsibility of his people and his district in Ohio to say, what kind of return on investment are we getting for this? We're getting jack shit.
Well, he has some tremendous sound bites, Beth.
Oh, I'm sure he does. They're very salacious. They're very sexy. I get all that. But again, we have a responsibility as the people to start. We've taken this for granted for far too long. And this is powerful.
Beth, do you think
Jim Jordan looks great in a button-down shirt? You can't deny that.
Beth, do you think there's any benefit to having people be required to vote, voting be mandatory?
Yes.
I think it should be mandatory. Absolutely, it should be mandatory.
Australia. Let's go with that, because Australia's, when they run, it's like a fucking month or two and it's done. They don't go off on 2-year fucking campaigns and shit. You get in, you get out, and it's over. Yep.
And I think if we mandated voting, we have to get rid of Citizens United. And I don't know how, but I would like to take the money out of it. I want publicly funded elections. And I don't care if you're a billionaire. Here's your $100,000 and that's all you get.
Okay, I want to make a statement to Nadine. It's very important. I have a burning desire. It won't take long. I'm going to admit, I'm going to do something that I never do.
Yes.
I am a big free speech absolutist, so therefore you would think that I would support Citizens United, and I did at the time, but that was a huge mistake. That opinion was a fucking disaster for the United States and for politics, and we've got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And guys, for the record, if you read like the arguments behind Citizens United, there is a case that they did make successfully, and it makes sense why they ruled the way that they did. If you just look at it on a fact basis, but because of the goddamned outcome of it, holy fucking shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, liberal.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Johnny, you were
exactly right.
Yeah,
it's disturbing, dude, because, on the principles of it, I should support it. I don't give a fuck about my principles anymore.
Exactly.
Citizens United is a disgusting, it's an abomination, and we got to get rid of it. And if that means we got to weaken the First Amendment, sorry, we got to weaken it.
Yeah, it's the teratoma of the cancer that is our government right now. It's got teeth and arms and shit, but it doesn't really think or do it. Yeah, it's a fucking.
Right. It's controlled by the very
terrible.
people who want it there. But let me ask you a question. Everybody on this everybody on this panel and listening, who's actually talked to your elected officials about Citizens United? When was the last conversation you actually had with your elected official? When was the last time you sent an email? Made a phone call?
Well, that has nothing to do with it. It's a Supreme Court decision.
I'm not talking about the Supreme Court right now. I'm talking about how do you get campaign finance reform, and with some of the things related to Citizens United can be effectually changed in our Congress. So when was the last time anybody here actually picked up the phone or sent an email.
I think that's slightly obtuse. I'm sorry to say.
I don't
I mean,
think it's
until we
obtuse at all.
get these Israel candidates out of Congress, it doesn't matter how many conversations did you see. I think Liberal had up. Mike Johnson was talking about flipping votes in the back room. I mean, their interface. They do not give a fuck anymore. They are
Well,
completely
who
sold
do you
out.
think
And I'm just saying. I'm saying like my point is until we get these Israel cucks out of Congress, the only hope we have is public referendum. So, you know,
how do you
I'm
do
all
that?
about ballot initiatives and public referendums through petition, you know, states' rights. And if someone was clever enough to come up with, you know, something that would pierce the corporate veil of these Citizens United fucking retards.
Well, you can always just sue them.
Can't say the R word.
Well,
Can't
I'm just
say
saying,
the R word.
Yeah, I apologize.
Love
I
the TikTok
apologize.
shop. We love the
did not
TikTok
mean
shop.
that. I did not mean that in a
So
derogatory way.
Beth, he raises an interesting point that as I'm a right winger, I'm a hardcore right winger. I suspect you're all leftards.
Actually, hold on. I'm a conservative, fiscal, socially moral, independent voter.
Why does everybody? Those are like your personal pronouns of politics. Anyway,
Okay, first of all, hold on. Before you say anything else,
shit, hold on real quick. Okay, what the fuck? Johnny's live content contains themes that some may find uncomfortable. What the fuck?
I do apologize.
Oh my God. See you, Johnny.
Shlomo, I want to just tell you, as someone who's worked in the executive and legislative branch of government, I've worked with Republicans and Democrats, which has afforded me the opportunity, and I worked with then, at the time, people who really were public servants, who really care. There were a few bad apples. There always are, right? I mean, you're gonna have that. But I learned some very valuable lessons about from Democrats about fiscal conservative, and from Republicans about moral social responsibility. So don't throw that in my face. I learned from some really good people, and you can be both of those things. And it doesn't have to be like this special pronoun, whatever nonsense you're spewing. The fact of the matter is, I'm very much against campaign. I want campaign finance reform, as did the people I worked with. I want our deficit to be down. I want us to stop spending money we don't have and kicking it down the can for my grandchildren to have to deal with. And but again, if the only people talking to our elected officials are corporate PACs, corporate leaders, and people who have tons of money, then you know what? Who are they going to listen to?
Okay, here's what we need to do. Left and right. We need to agree on one thing. The left wing and the right.
I'll get to you, Nadine.
I believe there is an issue that we can all agree on. One, there's probably others, but this one for sure, we can agree that there needs to be a national movement by the people wherein we vote against any son of a bitch who's taking APAC money.
Absolutely.
Big money. These people need to be, we need to show that you're going to be punished if you take money from people that the people have decided are not good for America. That's something we can all do. That can become a movement. We can start naming names. There's APAC tracker, there's contributions trackers. People can enter the FEC website, find out who's taking money from who. We all know who the big Zionists are, okay? We can target these soft motherfuckers like Mike Johnson. He's a puppet. Yes, he's got no actual support. But what he does have is he's well financed. And if he starts
he owns the levers of all this shit with the bills and shit.
Look at Jimmy Langford and Mark
people start getting punished for being well financed, that's a big step in the right direction. And that all starts with Jewish money. There, I said it.
But you're right. We have to get rid of AIPAC. We have to get rid of Citizens United. We need to get the money out of politics. People who represent the people should be representing the people.
Democrat contributors are all Jewish Americans.
I know. And I'm a liberal.
It's similar for Republicans.
I am about, and when you're talking about like your pronouns, your political pronouns, I am as liberal as you can be without being a communist. I am 110% a social democrat. I think
So you
that
like my
the
mom?
government should work for the people, not for GE, not for Amazon, for me and for you and your kids. And we should be, because of the width and the depth and breadth of our economy, we should be the best educated. We should be the
Right.
healthiest people. And we are
But
not, because our
no,
government is looking out for Amazon and GE and
but that's
Tesla.
who's talking to our elected officials. It's Amazon and
Right.
General Electric. That's
Yeah,
who's
but
talking.
Beth, I
Are you talking
understand
to
what
them? And
Beth,
I talk to them all the
Beth, I
time.
understand what you're saying, but I am a Democrat in Oklahoma, and I could call Jim Langford's office every
Call
hour
them
on the
every day.
hour, and that
Send them
is
an
not
email.
going
Oh
to
my
make
God,
a
Amir.
difference.
Oh my God, the
Post
roses.
it on your social
Oh,
media. Post your open letter. Every communication you send, you post it to your social media and you tag his fucking office. And then you say, I want this communication made part of the record.
Beth,
That's
Ted
what you do.
Kaczynski mailed packages to the wrong people. There, I said it.
That's fucking funny. No, I mean, but Nadine is right. Like, the communicating with them really doesn't work. What you have to do that I've learned, and I was somewhat successful in Oklahoma, is going to the spaces and those little fucking clubs and shit that they hold, in networking in person with them. So that they see you, they remember you, they know your fucking name,
Yeah, but
and
Tim,
you can.
the last time I went to talk to Jim Langford, they told me that if I came to another town hall, they'd have me arrested.
Well,
I said, "Do you promise?
For what?
Do you
there
What are they
promise?"
going
are
to have you arrested
there
for?
there
Because
are
I demand that
exceptions.
they answer my questions.
Yeah, there
When
are
he
exceptions to that.
when he does the dance, like I would say, "What do you think about blah 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 blah?" And then he would not answer my question, but he would talk for 15 minutes, and then he would he would do that, like that smile, like there you go, and I would say, "You didn't answer my question. Let me repeat it." And then and they don't like that. They like to just have you
It,
ask a question, then dance. They dance a little bit. They smile. They say stupid shit, and then you're supposed to say, "Oh, thank you very much, Senator." No, fuck you, Senator. And somebody in the chat is saying, Jim, his name, he's James Langsford now, but when I moved here, he was a congressman and he was Jim Langford. And I'm sorry, his name is Jim.
yeah,
I know that people call him Jim in his house.
yeah, Jim is short for James. My
Yeah, yeah.
stepdad, the piece of shit, his name was James, and everybody called him Jim. So if that's what your complaint is, that's silly. That said, so like I understand what you're saying, Nadine, but I know for a fact that I, as a Democrat, have changed the mind of at least 2 Republican Congress people in Oklahoma, because they reached out to me to try and understand what this piece of legislation, like why the Democrat would have posted it, and or wanting my take on it before this legislation that they proposed went to the floor. I got 2 people, 2 of the fucking elected representatives who were not my elected representatives, for the record, to change their minds, because I have, because you treat people like people. I don't hate you because you're a Republican. I will exist alongside you. But because they know me, they know my face, they know that I'm fair. They know that I will give everybody the benefit of the doubt, generally speaking. And so they come to me because they know I'm going to shoot them straight. And so I've seen it happen. Now, obviously, Jim is a different, that's a different beast
Different
entirely.
animal.
That guy is, I mean, he's up here looking down at everybody. So, what I'm talking about is more, middle of the road people.
Are
Because
you
he's just,
talking about like the state legislature? Is that what you're talking about? The
yes.
state senators? Yeah.
Yes. Now,
They are
federally
much.
speaking, good luck. Good
I
luck
mean, like,
trying
I
to
had a
find
whole
your
thing.
way into their spaces,
Well, you know what?
you
When
know,
they did the redistricting, it was interesting because what they did is because they wanted to take the power out of CD5. And they tried to split Oklahoma City up by taking South Oklahoma City, which is very Hispanic, and put it into CD3, which is way out. Frank Luke is out by Guyman and all that. And I think what they did was, if we get organized, and the Democratic Party of Oklahoma is a lot of things but not organized. But I think what they did is they created 2 seats that we could win if we got our shit together.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of feel like, I'm not discouraging working within the electoral system itself or something like that, pressuring politicians at town halls, this kind of thing. I think that's good. I think like a part and parcel of kind of an issue of why, politicians really, aren't responding seemingly to pressure that are being put on them in these mediums is because it's kind of all people are really doing. I think, a better, mode of action would be using things like unions, using things like, dual power institutions, like working outside just solely the electoral system to pressure politicians. If you look at some of the greatest advancements for the people, the working class, whatever, in American history at least, it wasn't just done through voting or something, right? It was done because there was these like actual institutions of the working class that were pressuring like FDR and early Democrats like in the Great Depression to actually make like pretty radical changes. They didn't just like go to town halls and yell at them or something. They were like building their own institutions and their own organs of power. And then that's when the government was like, "Oh fuck, we need to do something. These people are gonna like overthrow us or something." Using strikes and this kind of stuff. Like that's I think a lot more scary to them than like I'm not gonna vote for you or something. So.
No, you have to raise money. You got to raise money, and you gotta fucking attack people, man. With money, it takes money. You gotta scare them. Like Lindsey Graham in my state, nobody likes this motherfucker, but nobody's funding an opposition campaign. We're not going to vote for a fucking Democrat in South Carolina.
And then what happens is the APEC gets in on it, and then whatever you're trying to do is they have a mountain of money.
That's right. They have unlimited cash.
So a regular walk in the street Democrat can't compete with what's his name from Pennsylvania, the governor. What the hell's his name? I can't remember.
It's not just AIPAC. It's like actual individual Zionist donors too. Fucking Leslie Wexner and Madeline Adelson, all these kind of people. It's
his name?
Shapiro.
Yeah, it's not just within AIPAC. We need to abolish AIPAC, but we kind of also need to like pressure politicians so much to not take Zionist explicitly money, outside of these PACs. Like you shouldn't be able to take $100 million from the Adelsons and still win a seat. Like
that's right. That's exactly right. They should. Anyone who takes money, Zionist money like that, we should be voting against them. And there's going to be.
That's why I'm a big believer in having publicly funded elections. I don't care how much money you have or your friends have. This is how much money you have for your campaign. And if you spend one nickel, we will take you off the ballot.
Well, if we convert certain campaign contributions into the kiss of death for politicians, they'll get the message.
Yes.
Because all they care about is getting elected. They don't give a fuck about Israel or Jews or the rest of it, okay? But they're getting money. They're not being punished for taking money from people that keep winning. They don't give a fuck about Israel. They'll say they do, but you can tell they don't. Like, if they gave a fuck about Israel, maybe they'd be able to come up with something other than, I stand with Israel.
Right.
I served you as mayor.
When people,
if it was the Argentinians giving them hundreds of $1 millions, they would all of a sudden love Argentina and be like, "Wow, Argentina has a right to exist."
I stand with Qatar. Qatar didn't fight for its life against the Iranians, and it's terrible. We got to boost them up. It's ridiculous.
When we get into those situations where finally the people are like, fuck this shit. If you take money from AIPAC or any fucking, Zionist donor, we're going to say, fuck you. Well, now in Texas, you've got Jasmine Crockett, who supports Israel's right to exist and has funded them ever since. And then Tallarico, who has taken money from Miriam Edelson. Even though he says he doesn't support taking money from AIPAC, he got money from Miriam Edelson. So they will just stack the fucking deck in their favor, so that either the only choices you have are people who have done this, or they'll revert to, well, we'll just lie about it. We're going to slide the fucking money under the,
That's why the reporting is so important, Sam, because the bottom line is this. when you say you're not going to take the money and you do, then you get it from the Democratic side. You have to vote blue no matter who. And I have already put it out there in the midterms and the presidential election. I'm not voting for a Zionist supporter. I'm not voting for AIPAC money. And if that means that we have to have Trump's third term, I then drive this bitch into the ground, burn it to the fucking
Well,
ground.
Nadine, I want to match your energy. I'm an extreme right winger, as I've always said. If the Democrats came out on an explicitly anti-Israel platform, I'd vote for them. I don't give a fuck. What are Republicans doing for me? Nothing.
Exactly.
I'll vote for Democrats. I don't care if they're brown. I don't give a shit. I'll vote for a brown person. If they're explicitly anti-Israel, absolutely.
I am to the point of where I don't want to vote for anybody who accepts money from them, supports them in any way, because to me, Israel is the most dangerous thing right now that we face in this country. I think they're more dangerous than any other entity.
Isn't it? Like, they go over there and they lick that stupid wall like total slaves. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And here's the
it's
thing,
weird.
I'm from New Jersey. Be as religious as you want. I couldn't possibly give a shit less. But keep it to yourself. You don't have to wear it on your sleeve. You don't have to take videos of you going and doing whatever your religion does. I don't give a shit. And really all it does is piss me off. So
yeah, you can be as Jewish as you want. Just leave the rest of us out of it.
Yeah, go to church every day of the week. Go to the temple. I don't care. Leave me out of it. I'm not there with you. If I wanted to be, I would be, and I don't give a shit. So stop it.
Well, that's because it's not about someone's personal religious beliefs or even ethnic ties to being Jewish or something. It is the capture of our political and financial institutions
it's all performative.
for the benefit of a foreign nation and for, like a specific group of people. It's supremacy. Like, nobody likes supremacy in any other way. I don't like supremacy if you're Brazilian supremacist or if you're a Jewish supremacist or whatever. I don't want to live under somebody else. I want to have like my own sovereignty over myself. And I feel like in America, we've been denied sovereignty because we've been occupied by a foreign fucking nation. And it needs to end.
Look, we're not occupied. We're running an open bribery system. It's an open auction. It's not even corruption. We have open, transparent, an auction system for all the politicians. So anyone can buy one in theory. You just got to have them enough cash. I figure if you want to buy a congressman, costs about $100,000. You can put them in your back pocket. Walk around Washington D.C. Go to the bars. Go out to the restaurants with your congressman in your pocket.
That's funny,
right? And this is why I think it's also kind of a capitalism thing, because while AIPAC and Israel and the Zionists are currently, I would say, the most pressing lobby, the whole totality of the Israel lobby has kind of captured our political institutions. Like, it's not like the pharmaceutical industry, the pharmaceutical lobby, the medical insurance lobbies. It's not like these are really any better. I mean, those should be fucking abolished too.
Yeah.
The entire reason why we don't have the bank, exactly. Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock,
the banks not get mentioned in all this. Holy shit, the bankers, man.
They're beholden to their stockholders. I love that one they talk about we're going to ignore the leader of that company and or bank, and we're just going to pivot to no, really it's the shareholders, the guy that owns like $2 in
the
stock.
Country are probably the investment banks. Talk about scammers. Holy shit.
Yeah, and like laundering money. We've caught these large banks laundering money for, terrorism and other means, constantly. And like nobody ever goes to jail for it. Well, they get off scot-fucking-free. It's like, well, if you're rich and you commit crimes, well, that's okay.
No, they don't get off scot-free. That's liberal. Now, I got to stop you right there, okay? I've agreed with you on everything so far, but I got to check you on this. It's not scot-free. They make $10 billion laundering money, but then they got to pay a $3 billion fine. So it's not scot-free, okay? They lose some of their profit. The government wants to cut that shit. That's why they're mad. The reason they're getting in trouble is they're not cutting the government in on the scam.
You may be right.
I think
like the Sackler family. Sorry,
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead, Amir.
the Sackler family needs to be in prison.
In
But
prison.
part of the problem too is also frankly, the Federal Reserve. I mean, the fact that we kind of allow the banks to really control the money supply. They get to control. The money gets printed, it gets completely injected into the banks, and they get to decide who they lend it out to, how much they get to lend out, and really, it's
And
not
lend
really
money
risky
they
for
don't
them.
even have for the record, which is
Yeah,
illegal.
exactly. Yeah.
Make that one make
So I mean,
sense.
really, we should. Even though I am on the far left, I actually do agree with libertarians when they say we need to abolish the Federal Reserve. We need to end this kind of like private bank married to the federal government thing that we have. It makes no fucking sense. Like you pick
Well,
one, either we
No,
privatize the
real quick,
banks
guys.
or we nationalize the banks.
Pyre just okay, guys. We're almost at 50K. I haven't done a commercial yet. Thank you all. Jussie, I think it's Jussie. You have, I think, now exceeded. Yeah, you're at 10,000 likes. I believe you're leading the pack. I didn't check everybody, but I think so. And Raw is at 3,000 likes. That's insane. Thank you guys so much for liking. I appreciate that. If you're listening in the comment section, just tap the screen. You can get both fingers going. I also have a gifting goal of 50 boxing gloves. I have 10. I'm looking for 40 more. If you'd like to support the show, please do that. I also have Crash App and Vimo. That's $LibLoudMouth and @LibLoudMouth, respectively. You can send some, donations, whatever you want to call it, to those in order to support the live, to keep this going under intense scrutiny by Zionists who like to come in here and fuck up this panel all the time and sexually assault me to my face, talking about my bald head, Headley. I'm still working on that video because Headley, look, if I can help you out, man, I'll do it. If you need something, I got you, bro. Anyway.
Wait, are you talking about Headley Lamar?
Yes. This motherfucker will come up here and he will start in the most disgusting, creepy, sexual voice talk about my quote unquote bald head. No, if I played the clip, you would probably laugh. It's funny, but he was wondering how much hair I have underneath this hat. He is desperate.
He's a friend of mine. He's sick.
Tell it here. Look, I tell you what. Tell him I have hair under my hat. I don't want to show him yet.
Wow, you do actually. I kind of assumed you were bald too, but yeah.
He for some reason will he gets all fired up about it. It's kind of weird, but either way, Headley, I've got a head of hair. It's okay. But anyway, guys, commercial is now over. Let's get back to regular scheduled programming. I don't remember who was talking last, but I haven't heard from Johnny in a minute. So Johnny, if you wanted to jump in there, please, by all means, go ahead and do so.
Well, I mean, I was just kind of taking this in, seeing if there's any good ideas and actual reform and anything else. But I really was hoping to troll Erica Kirkowitz.
Kirkowitz.
I think it's
Johnny's a terrorist.
I think.
I said something to my mother today, Johnny. I said something.
Go ahead.
Johnny, I said something to my mother this morning because she is like, "Oh, that was such a tragedy, and that poor woman." And I was like, "That poor woman's wearing leather pants and touching somebody else's husband, 3 weeks after her husband's dead." And I'm sorry, no, ma'am.
What is with this whole fucking thing? What is with the Candace Owens? Sometimes I see clips of Candace Owens talking about, red shirts and the French government's
she's a lunatic.
Wife is a husband.
She's a lunatic.
The conspiracy, Applebee's is involved apparently with the assassinate, and I'm just like,
who's
what the fuck is this girl talking
that
to?
creepy pastor they're comparing her to now?
The creepy pastor? I haven't really
Who's the creepy
followed.
pastor they're comparing her to her? Yeah.
Are you talking about the one that speaks in tongues?
What is that guy's name, Shlomo? Have you seen that yet?
You're talking about the one with it's demonic?
Yes.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. Creepy pastor that they're comparing.
There's people coming out all over the place.
Yeah,
let's go Google. Let's go YouTube demonic pastor, and this guy will come up fucking going crazy.
I mean, creepy pastor.
Kenneth
Copeland. Narrow it down.
Kenneth Copeland. Fucking Kenneth Copeland. God, I haven't heard that name in a while. Demonic exorcism stories deliver terrifying warning about. This is okay. That's from 2024. Let's see. Exploring.
Yeah, but that's because Candace is talking about that you can't stop a bullet with your neck.
I think she's just crazy. Look, and here's kind of the problem. Like, I really am happy to see people becoming critical of Israel and the Zionists and the Israel lobby and this kind of thing, talking about the truth of who took out JFK. All of these things are true. But then you get someone like Candace Owens, who's completely fucking insane, and talking about, the Freemasons and how they're the America's founding was all French Freemasons and shit. And it's like, it kind of discredits us a little bit. It's like, this bitch is completely out to lunch. She's not talking about anything legitimate. But then, you have people who are in the Israel critical like movement who are citing her. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? She's talking about Applebee's and Red Lobster's in on it. And
But the
like,
thing
we got to
that
be.
it's also Tucker. Tucker is also in on it now too.
So,
And
well, let
the
me.
thing why it's funny is because when in your whole life did you ever think that words that came out of Tucker Carlson's mouth were going to be in any way similar to the words that come out of my mouth? Never. But apparently here we are behind the looking glass. We're in the upside down.
I'd like to point out the like parallels to what I believed, and this is my conspiracy theory about Alex Jones, is that he was like counterintelligence, if you will, because he would say things that were true. For example, there are studies that show that like atrazine can cause feminization in frogs, right? Turning frogs into, another Smex or whatever.
Frogs are turning
and he's
gay,
like, they're turning the frogs gay. And he would scream about this. So he's dropping seeds of truth, or at least something that can be backed up. But what it does, the purpose that it serves is if you ever engage in any of the same language or belief systems that those people do, now people can dismiss you as a crazy Alex Jones conspiracy theorist. And now what we're seeing is Erica Kirk or Candace Owens engaging in this weird fucking, global thing that she's adding all the stuff that doesn't make sense. Maybe that's the point, to make anybody that agrees with her look like they're fucking crazy dirtbags.
No, you're giving them you're assuming there's some kind of like, she's positioning herself in the marketplace of ideas with the schizoids. Look, there's flat earthers on TikTok and they get pretty good turnout, okay? Okay?
Yeah, dude.
Out there. It's a big marketplace. We're talking about
that's possible too.
No, this is what's happening. She doesn't have some greater plan. She's going where the money is. Okay.
She's a grifter, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I saw no. You know what made me really blackpilled? I saw her last stream get 190,000 fucking live viewers.
What?
I was like, are we serious? Like, she's talking about like the Frankists and the Freemasons and the French president's wife is a man. And they're all in on the Charlie Kirk assassination. And I was like,
why
are you fucking kidding me? 190,000 people are watching this. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
There were 100. Wait. There were 190,000 people at the last NASCAR race. We all know why they were really there, don't we, Amir? Why were they at the NASCAR race?
They want to see the wreck.
That's right. And that's what Candace Owens is offering.
The fucking train wreck.
They're there to see it.
Yep.
I'm gonna not lie. I go on her YouTube channel, and you want to know what some of the best fun times you can go do are? Read the comments. Oh my God!
I believe that.
It will never let you down.
Yeah, it's fucking WWE entertainment, y'all, and like that panel last night, over fucking 200 people watching, just pure on drama, just toxic behavior, just crazy fucking shit happening, and at some point you have to start blaming yourselves for engaging in that, and like.
Yep.
But somebody that's talking about something legitimate,
so I'll never blame myself for WWE, bro. I love that.
You know what I'm saying. So like, we acknowledge that this is a problem, but we continue to engage in the same shit, myself included, from time to time. And at some point we have to check out from that. To not grift it, because she could probably make as much money by going around and calling black children the N-word. I mean, we see that that's a profitable thing to do, right? So she could do that. I mean, and get a GoFundMe going, because we know that the supporters of some of those people that
Well,
say
yeah,
those
no,
things will
I
throw fucking dollar bills at them. Yes, yes. So
See, whenever I think about that, I always think about the original Karen lady, the barbecue Becky, back in
oh
like
my
early
God,
2000s. Dude,
yes,
she missed the boat, dude. She was
she
so close to making
did.
money. She lost her job and everything. Had to change her name, and she could have got rich if she held that off for like 3 more years. She
Yep,
could have got paid.
that's a
All
great
right, all right. So
fucking point.
this is like this is the problem I see. Okay, is I brought up Erica Kirkowitz, and it took about 10 seconds for it to turn into a Candace bash.
Yep.
And I think that's just, I mean, with all due respect to everybody, I think you have intelligent opinions, Shlomo, all you guys. But in perspective, I mean, literally, like, do you eat propaganda for lunch? I mean,
Anything
this
about
is
Erica
this is
Lewis
What are you
or
talking about, dude? I think
I
you're a
don't.
little upset that people think that Candace. So look. I think Erica Kirk, frankly,
I'm not
is
upset. I'm not
also.
upset. I'm
Well,
not upset.
I brought
But
up
if you
Candace
watch
Owens
a
as like a
reel of
joke,
Nick
but
Fuentes, if you watch a reel of Nick Fuentes and then you form your political doctrine based off, a grift or a troll or a joke, then I'm afraid you've missed the plot.
I don't think Nick Fuentes is a.
As a
If you
grift.
can say a lot of things about Nick Fuentes, he's not a grifter. The guy
No,
who
don't
has
call him
been
a
He is a
grifter.
grifter.
defanged.
He's definitely a
No, he's
grifter.
not.
Nick
No,
He's
he's
a
not.
Fuentes
Not.
He's
Grifter.
not.
actually
And I'm not
disagrees
even.
with
Racist.
Candace. Have you guys not seen that they're now beefing him and Candace?
Yeah, because she's a
Yeah.
That
psychopath.
group of
That's
people,
when
they're
I hear someone
unaliving
call
themselves.
Candace
Hello,
crazy,
can I say something?
I know they're
Uh,
Nick fans.
Yes. Now, let's see. Randy and Humi are the new people. I don't know who came in first. My apologies. Who was here before?
Me?
I think it was me. I'm just gonna say me. Even if they were here first, I wanted to
No,
talk
no, it was
first.
me. It was me. Fuck that guy. That made me upset. No, it was me. It was me. It was me. 100%.
I think it was you because you did
Yeah,
chime
yeah.
in
Shut
with
up, Randy.
something. Yeah. Randy, I see you, Randy. Go ahead, Humi.
I don't know what we were even
in there.
talking about. Randy can go first.
Well,
fucking funny.
well, that's how it should have been, anyways. But
Go ahead, Randy.
Oh wait, no, I just
liberal.
remember what I wanted to talk about. Sorry.
Oh, you figure out what? Too
Christy
late.
Knowles. Christy Knowles going to jail. What do you guys think? I think she'll go before Hegseth. Which
Who?
one? Hegseth or Christy
You
Knowles?
know? Oh,
I can't say her last name. It's hard.
Ice
No.
Barbie. Ice
For
Bar- I
lying-
said Ice Barbie.
For lying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Congress? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, for giving the thumbs up and be like, send that plane out. Go, send it on. And they're like, don't do that. And she said, do it.
I think I'm as much as I would love it to be Ice Barbie, I really think it's going to be Hegseth because I think there are still some people in the military that are taking their job seriously.
But I feel like the military court holds so much litigation that'll like he'll be able to put that off long enough. I think that Christy Nolan shit, they'll be like, so who said yes? And she'll be like, me, and then that'll be that. There's a lot of litigation between the military though.
Well, let's acknowledge that there are several people in Trump's orbit that should be investigated and probably brought up on charges. Who goes first? We'll never know, but it may actually only happen after this administration is.
Well, I was going to say that the
gone.
trick is to get locked up as soon as possible to get pardoned before he's out of there.
That's a fucking
really,
great
if they're
point.
if they're smart at all, they need to be asking for the pardon and just confessing their sins and getting the pardon while he's still in office. Because if they wait for it to be over, the perp walk is going to be long and mighty if the Democrats get control of the House and the Senate. And they're just going to line them all up, and it'll go on for years and years, and nothing will get fixed except the hearings and the trials.
But strategically
frankly,
speaking, is that the smartest move for Democrats? Because then they'll be able to cry victim. Oh my God, they're coming after us. It's a witch hunt. And they'll just keep doing what they did. I mean, Trump did this, right? And I think it
what
helped
would
him
love-
out.
If I could script it, if I could tell them what to do and they would actually fucking listen, the first year that they get a Democrat in the White House and control of the Congress, they need to start fixing shit that's broken. And they need to say, we know that these people are criminals. We know that they're out there, but we have to work for the people and we have to fix this and we have to fix this and this. And then the second year, while they're still in control and they still have the majority, then they need to go after them. After the major things.
The Democrats are weak, though. This is why they won't fucking do it, because they are a spineless party. And it's like that.
Well,
That is kind of a big problem. Is that while the Republicans, are evil, the Democrats are weak. They actually don't want to do anything to address the crimes committed by,
Yeah.
Because they're
what is still the neocons in office.
ignoring the people they're ignoring the people's voice that we are anti-Zionist, we don't want AIPAC, and we don't want to be sending a nickel or a bullet to Israel. And they are not willing to get off that bus.
Well, because they're just as funded by the Israel lobby too.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. It's like people think that the Republican and MAGA is completely purchased and controlled by the Zionists, but so are the Democrats. Like
Yes.
it's not really that
Yes.
different.
I think it was 94% of every single member of Congress takes money from AIPAC. That's a huge number.
And they're so divided, yet on this one issue, they always come together. Like, we've got to support Israel.
One of the things I think is going on right now between the two parties is the Republicans are blatantly all in for fucking Israel. And I think what they're doing is they're reading the tea leaves. The Democrats are a BIPOC party. They do not like billionaire Jewish white men dominating the Democrat Party, which is a BIPOC party. And the Republicans are looking at this and they're saying, how long can this BIPOC party be dominated, organized by, financed by, and run by white men? And they think not that long. And so they're all in for Israel, trying to coax the Jews to come over to the Republican Party, which is a smart play because they're bringing all that cash, all that organizational potential, all that network potential. And it's if we get all that power over on the right wing, the left, you get the BIPOCs are done. The Democrat Party will.
Good one.
Well, here's the problem that I see. Like, there are Jewish people who do not have this Zionist fucking ideology, right?
Not really.
There are, but I think it is fair to.
Well, name a couple.
There is. I think it is Bernie Sanders.
No, he's voted to
Bernie
equip
Sanders.
them, arm them to the teeth.
He has come out to block the funding of them. What are you talking about?
Massey.
He absolutely did. He has come out and explicitly well, hold on. I was asked the question. I'm answering the question. Bernie Sanders is Jewish. He is not a Zionist. He has come out to block funding of Israel. He has voted to support them in the past, but he has come out and said no more. No more.
After he already armed them to the teeth.
He may have had a belief that they were going to defend themselves, and now, once the G side went underway, he said no more. A Zionist would not do that, right? And so there is because the worst Zionists in this country are not Jewish people. They're fucking Christians who, generally speaking, just love this Zionist fucking supremacy ideology where, they're the most impressive people. Like I had that fucking guy up on this. He literally said this and then listed 5 white fucking billionaires' names. I think it's crazy to watch.
Okay, well, Bernie Sanders is not a Jew opposed to Israel. You got to name somebody else.
Okay, I can name a couple, but the point is over. Well, Max Blumenthal.
Anyone else?
Jill Stein. She's not a Zionist.
Anyone else?
Well, look, that's kind of the point I was going to make. Over 90. Well, Max Blumenthal has a really good,
No one's ever heard of him. I know all about the Gray Zone, but no one on this panel has probably ever even heard of the guy.
No one on the panel has heard of the Gray Zone. It's a great newspaper if you guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're doing
one of the only ones that called out Josh Hammer, like Candace.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Amir,
I know, but
who's the Finkelstein with
Norman Finkelstein?
Yes.
Norman Finkelstein, the guy who lost his job and has no platform.
Yeah, but he is. But okay, you asked the question. We're answering it with facts that there are Jewish people who are non-Zionists, and it is a fact. Now, is it fair?
Over 90% of them are
fair? Is it fair to?
95%,
Is it fair to make an assumption that if you find out somebody is Jewish, that they likely have Zionist supremacist ideology?
Yes.
I think it's fair to say that, yes, but you also have to know that not everybody is. So don't judge a man based on their religion or whatever. Judge somebody on their actions and their beliefs. That's just me speaking.
I think another litmus test would be to see who voted for the latest Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, also liberal. Just because it's easy to jump off the funding for Israel after they've literally nickeled and dimed us to death put us into, bankruptcy, it's easy to say, oh yeah, now that we don't need America's dollars, like Netanyahu said, we'll use it for whatever it's worth, and then we'll let it blow away in the wind. So we have to be very careful of all of our people on the left and the right. We can't just assume that they're, I'm going to feel the burn or something. Oh, it's these oligarchies. I want to know, are you truly against corporatocracy, or are you just a fucking shill? You know what I mean?
Yes, it just even beside just basic Zionist mentality, the people that believe, like neoliberals, for example, that want to give corporations everything, they're a problem too, whether they're a Zionist or not. Because, so there's all these things that are very, very problematic and are hurting this country. And it's really fucking hard to know because it is so easy for them, especially Zionists, to fucking lie because that's what they do. They lie all the time. They create fake fucking corporations so that they can put explosive devices in fucking walkie-talkies and pagers and then laugh about it afterwards when they've unalived children and innocent civilians in a fucking in a convenience store down the fucking, in another country, 2 countries over or whatever. It's fucking nuts. So they will lie. And if we all start collectively coming, and realizing this class consciousness awakens, they will start to lie. So, we're going to have to be on our toes here because they're very clever. They're very snaky. They fucking slink through the grass, just like these motherfuckers coming after me. That's what they do. They slink through the grass. They gaslight. They fucking, oh my God, you're saying, oh, you're an anti-Semite. You're an anti-Semite. Why do you hate Jewish people? Motherfucker, fuck you. With your
look, and this is kind of the point
shit.
I was trying to make earlier, which it's like obviously, it is about partially the Zionist and Israel lobby 100%. But the truth is, if we abolished the Israel lobby, we kicked out all the Zionists who are over 95% Jewish, this kind of thing. What would still remain, though, is the corporate interest, because at the end of the day, it's about interest. It's about interest controlling the institutions of power. You have to get rid of the Zionists. You also have to get rid of these fucking giant corporations that completely control the government too. The medical
United.
And brown people, right? And brown people.
Oh shit! I'd just like to say, right wing is a terrible person and nobody likes him.
Okay, that's okay, but I'm saying that, Amir, I agree with you, but brown people have to be the next thing to go after that.
Why?
Because brown people are net negative on my side.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
That's silly. Okay, if that,
let's get all these Jews out of here. But brown people.
Okay, well, look, listen, if you're just going to come up and troll, like you can engage in regular conversation.
I'm not trolling.
No, yes, you are, because you aren't going to come up here. All brown people have to go. Like, come on.
That's
like, what the fuck? Okay, well, that's okay. Great.
Well, there's actually a few of these guys on TikTok that actually believe this shit.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them.
It's completely divorced from reality.
It's okay.
He dated a Polish chick, so not all brown people have to go.
If you counter signal me on this panel, bro, I'm gonna stop fucking with you.
If I do what?
Dude, it's a normie panel, bro. We're trying to tackle politics.
Yeah, you're trying to play like you're
your other account whiteoid.
Gay.
Yeah, dude, your other account is whiteoid, isn't it?
Yes.
You're whiteoid. You're whiteoid. Yes. Okay, for sure. All right, I thought so. I was like, I've heard that voice.
Yeah, I don't know whiteoid
I like
for the
whiteoid. I don't like this other guy. I think he's like.
Well, yeah, and I don't like you either because your name's Amir. You're obviously not white. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, dude, I am white actually.
What?
Liberal.
What the fuck?
Amir, what kind of white are you?
Okay, hold on. Okay, racist. Hush up.
I defend myself against the brown allegations. I'm from Bosnia. Okay, we're white. That's in Europe.
That's edge
You
white.
can't be white if you're Muslim.
That's edge white at best,
guys, if you want to talk about race,
in the continent of Europe, buddy.
Bosnia is
okay,
edge white.
guys, whoa, guys, I can't hear anybody. You're all talking. I can't hear a single one of you. Let's go one at a time here. Yes, Johnny, go ahead.
Say something real quick?
Sure, and then
guys,
I'll let right wing
make everything about race and bring it to that low IQ of a scale, then go to your own shit little lives. We actually discuss politics here. We actually discuss politics here.
No, you discuss normie low IQ stuff.
Johnny.
What do you think about the Trump files? That's like normie low IQ. Riri stuff. I'm here to talk about who's an
you
American
literally
and
have
who's
a
not.
child
Okay,
predator as your
okay.
VP.
Hold on,
You
real
have a
quick.
child
He
predator
just
as
said
your
something
VP.
that I need to respond to. You said you're here to talk about what was that?
Midwit talking points like the Epstein files and
Okay.
what did Trump do?
That's not
What
what
did
you
Trump do this
said.
week?
You
I'm
said
here to
low
talk
IQ
about
stuff.
like
Okay.
a decaying.
Okay, well, listen, if you want to go to a panel who is talking about that, because we're not talking about that right now. We do talk about those things, but we're not talking about that right now. So just because you think that you're special because you're white, and apparently you think you're special, just because you think you're special doesn't mean you get to come up on my panel and dictate what the fuck we talk about. So if you don't like brown people, you can go and have those conversations among yourself whenever somebody, or you can come back up on my panel when we're talking about that, but we're not going to pivot topics because we were talking about something else.
Oh, I
Liberal
apologize.
left, are
if
there
I was
any brown
pivoting
people on your
topics.
panel
I
right now?
apologize if I was pivoting topics.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Who's the brown person on your panel? I don't see one.
I did want
Amir.
to address what Amir said, something that Amir said
What?
before right wing sort of derailed the whole
Well,
thing.
he's a communist, so he wants to tear down all the corporations,
Well,
if that's what you mean.
no, I mean,
Amir's brown,
I
bro.
was correcting him on
That's
the fact
true.
that he said 90% of Zionists are Jews.
95%
No.
of
I
Jews.
said
No.
I said 90% of Jews are Zionists, and that's true. That's 100%
It's
true.
95%.
Because
Okay.
the biggest group of Zionists are Christians.
Yeah,
but we weren't
but
talking
so
about
you didn't hear what I said
Yeah.
then. So what I said was that over 90% of Jews are Zionists. I didn't say over 90% of Zionists are Jews. So you got it backwards.
That's true.
Okay.
And I also did, even right after he said that, I said the majority of Zionists are Christians or
Just like
not
saying
even
Which is
Jewish
also
people.
true.
black women are Democrats. It's just a fact.
Well, Shlomo. Was Teddy Roosevelt a communist?
No, he's a trust buster, but that's not what Amir
Okay.
wants to do.
I am a communist. I am a communist.
What the? That's not what Amir wants to do, Johnny. He doesn't want to just break up the companies into smaller, privately owned companies. He wants to seize them from the commanding heights of government so that the bureaucrats can tell us what kind of widgets we're going to consume. What kind of
So
news
that brown people doing
Well,
money
okay,
spreads.
so everybody's
appreciate that
attributing to
explanation,
Amir.
Shlomo.
Everybody's attributing to Amir things that Amir has not said on this panel. So I would like Amir to have an opportunity to clarify his position if that's his
Oh, thank
position.
you.
So go ahead, Amir,
Yes.
please. If
So
that's not true, go ahead.
100%. What I would like to see is mass-produced, mass-consumed industries like like energy, like housing, like healthcare, these kinds of things to be nationalized. We have a case study in other countries around the world that these things work. I'm not
Where?
opposed to China, for example.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
ethno
opposed
states.
to.
Ethno states.
Yeah, China's not an ethno state. The Han
China's pretty
Chinese
much an
are.
ethno state.
Hey,
It
dude, do you
isn't,
have
though.
like a?
Pretty
well,
much.
it's
Amir, are you
interesting.
doing a money spread in your photo?
You know,
fucking
yeah, I am
nigger,
doing-
you're not white, bro.
Okay, all right.
He's credited.
And see, okay,
Dude,
real
it's
real
like-
quick, guys. Okay, look, I
Now we
let
can go
people.
to the panel with
Okay,
more
yeah,
viewers.
right. And guys, I will platform fucking any kind of ideology if you can come in here and actually make a point. But if you're going to use the N word, you're going to say I'm going to throw a rope around a tree or something, you can get fucked, because I just those people I can't engage in because there's nothing to engage with because they have nothing up here. It's just all about feelings. I feel like I'm better than other people. So right wing, get fucked, go home, go play with your other fucking pink wiggly worms, as Maverick would say, and unfortunately she's not here. Amir, I was listening to you clarifying your beliefs.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Well, and that's the high IQ stuff he wanted to talk about. But anyway, the point is like mass-consumed, mass-produced, necessities that people need to live, healthcare, housing, utilities like electricity and water. These kinds of things should be nationalized at the federal level and distributed by need, not by profit. I'm not opposed to luxury markets existing for niche items. If people want some designer bag or something, the market's probably better at distributing that. But I think for the most part, we're already heading to a more planned economy. We see corporations like Walmart already utilizing planning internally within their supply chain. I think that, things that everyone fucking needs to survive, these things should probably be nationalized and distributed based on need and not just what is the most profitable thing in the entire world. So that's my position. You can call that communist or whatever, but
Okay, so most systems then under yours would exist under, by the government's, function to distribute those things. Is that fair
Yeah,
assessment?
we see in China, for instance, I'll use them as an example. They had a private housing market. It started to they let this mass, monopolized corporation essentially distribute loans to people who needed housing. That created a bubble. So instead of like we did in America, bail out, the fucking banks for issuing mortgage and stuff at subprime rates, completely fucking up the economy. What they did, instead of bailing them out, they said, no, fuck you. We're going to nationalize this now. We're going to seize this from you. And now we're going to do it. So now they completely evaded a bubble. And now they issue mortgage loans based on what's actually, possible, but also equitable to their people. And now 95% of Chinese people own their own home for like a very fair price. They have a very low interest rate. These kinds of things, that's what I think that's more rational than, yeah, let's bail out all the banks and let them continue to completely privatize and fuck over
And
people who are
to
seeking
grape
to
the
own
people.
homes.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time. It's too big to fail while they allow these mergers to continue. That is the weirdest thing to me. They complained about being too big to fail, and now we're watching the conglomeration of all the media. We're watching all this fucking shit. They just keep allowing it to happen. So at some point now, I don't know if I'd go so far as to like agree with like the government distributing everything. I think there's a hybrid system that you could put into place similar to kind of what we were talking about, like niche things. I guess is like a hybrid system, but I don't know. Does anybody have thoughts about what Amir's saying in rebuttal or agreement?
I do.
Johnny, go ahead.
I mean,
And then I'll get to Nadine after
quick.
Johnny. Go ahead.
Amir, I understand you commies aren't going anywhere and you're gaining a little traction, and I'm not discrediting your wants and desire to fix our country, but instead of nationalize, can you go with like statize? I don't know what the word would be, but I mean, do we really want to give that much power to the central government with fucking Palantir and things like that? So could you start saying like the states should have more rights over certain means of production so that we don't end up in a complete fucking tyranny?
Yeah, I'm not saying this government. I think this government that is completely owned and controlled by corporate interests would do a very bad job of that. We need to purge our government of that, but this is kind of the problem, is that China doesn't have this problem because their government is not owned and controlled by corporate or foreign interests or something like that. It is actually answerable to the people. So, there just was a big story. I don't know if people saw this. There was this like Chinese billionaire or whatever. He was caught, engaging in fraud. They executed the guy and seized his assets and distributed to the people.
That's a pretty good deterrent, right?
So no, not our government should not be in control of that, but a government that acts more like that, that's not answerable. Capital can't, rise above the state. And in America, we have that. Capital exists in a more powerful position than the fucking government. That's insane. We need to get rid of that. I think a government could do what I'm talking about, not our government, because it's controlled by capitalists.
Sure. Yeah, in like the way that the CCP does, like the land leases, they have 70-year land leases transferable to children, and generally speaking, by the time that that gets transferred, they don't pay any fucking thing. They pay an amount of money for that lease. They don't pay any more taxes. No taxes. Yeah. And so in perpetuity, you are literally leasing your property from the U.S. government forever, right? Forever. Because if you don't pay the taxes, guess who comes and gets your shit? And so, we accept that, when we don't really even complain about that necessarily. But I don't know. That seems more.
Well, because it's funding the schools. Loud mouth.
See, and that I'm glad you brought that up, because that is one of the reasons that we have such poor education in this country, because depending on where you live and the home values is what your school is going to end up with in terms of money. So the poorer the area, like the poorer the area, the worse the fucking school's going to be.
One funny thing about education is this.
That's Mom Donnie.
in Oklahoma, you can transfer your kids. You have open transfer, which is bullshit. And
Right.
the teacher, I think that's bullshit. And a lot of my liberal friends hate that I think this. In New Jersey, which is always number 1, 2, or 3 in education every year because of the money, because of the property taxes, you don't get to take your kid to any school. You want your kid to go to that good school over there? Fucking move there. If you don't live
Right.
there, then your kids can't go to that school.
That's very racist,
people,
Nadine.
It's not racist. It's
Well, yes, it is.
What's the money?
Ever heard of redlining?
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about.
Okay, so then don't pretend that the good schools aren't racist.
Wait, you want to know what happens is the schools around the really good schools then realize that people are moving out of their town. They have to get better. I'm talking about specifically education. So
I know what you're talking
seen
about.
it happen. I've seen it happen where that everybody wants their kids to go to that school. The apartment complexes are getting not as rented, and all of a sudden they pour money into their schools because it's a competition of who has the best schools. Because that's where people want to live. That's where people want to live. They want to rent apartments.
Yep.
They want their children to go to school there. Because people are starting to realize that the when your kids walk away from high school, that's it. That's all there is.
Right. Let me real quick.
They can
I
go
need
to college,
to.
or they can go to trade school. But the last ditch effort that parents have is public education, and that's where it ends. And people are starting to realize that.
Now,
And
real quick.
schools in Oklahoma are just fucking what? Because the state has undercut education for as long as I've lived here.
Yep.
They don't need to be that smart in Oklahoma. They're just farm boys.
Real quick, and I'll get to you, Shlomo. A shout out to Bunny. Happy birthday, Bunny. It is your birthday. Happy birthday. I just wanted to give you a shout out, a longtime supporter of the show, and I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful, glorious birthday. Thank you for coming here to listen to the show on your birthday. I appreciate that.
What a nice guy you are. I'll bet you're a tremendous neighbor. Do you have all white neighbors?
No, actually, I have all black neighbors. I live in an area. Okay, so I'm actually really glad that you brought that up. I hope
So
right wing is still.
a neighborhood, aren't you? You lowlife.
No, I'm indigenous, so I would, technically, I am the minority here, whereas the black people are the majority in my town. I live in an area that's almost 80% black in my area. And let me tell you, I lived in Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma schools, right? My kids went to Oklahoma schools. Fucking terrible.
Is your Cherokee?
Absolutely. No, I'm a Muskogee Creek Nation. Absolutely fucking terrible, right? These schools. So when we moved out to Mississippi, I thought it was going to be terrible, right? Because you hear, how impoverished it is here and how terrible it is. These schools are fucking phenomenal. And I'm so willing to make sure that my child gets a good education that I now am living 9 hours away from my wife because my child needs a good education. And so we do this to sacrifice for our children. So what Nadine is saying is absolutely fucking true, because you will do what you can to put your child in the best school. So if these towns want their people to move there, they need to fucking fix the schools first. That's the most important thing. And
How is that different?
To the point, I want to say when I went to Oklahoma, it was like 80-some% white kids, right? Bullying constantly. I mean, every fucking day, everybody's getting bullied. Matter of fact, somebody was bullied to the point of self-unaliving in that school. It made national news. I come here where it's fucking almost 80% black people. There is no bullying problem in this school. There
that's
is
because
none.
your kid looks white.
Zero bullying. Now, my children do look white, but I do not look white. No,
yes,
I don't.
You do.
No.
Dude,
If you see me in person, you would never accuse me of being white. I'm not going to sit here and talk about this because it doesn't matter. But you can't erase my lived experience. You can't erase the fact that my mother was sent to a native boarding school and had the fuck beat out of her by a bunch of white people. You're not going to erase any of that stuff, because to you, your perception of me is one thing, and my lived reality is something completely different. So you can believe something, but that doesn't make it true.
Go tell a panel full of black people that race doesn't matter. Now, I'll bet you the Muskegees.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that race doesn't matter.
You're triggered. Now, I'll bet you the Muskegees, they look at you and they accuse you of acting white, don't they?
No, actually, I am literally a citizen of my nation. I'm a dual citizen.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that I'll bet the real ones Okay?
Huh?
The real ones. What do you mean, the real ones?
Native. Well, the ones who look clearly
I actually do look native.
They probably call you an Uncle
So
Thomas.
again, I'm going to point out to everybody,
What?
I have 3 LED white panels that are facing me because in order for my green screen to work, I have to have light on it. So what you're seeing is LED lights shining and beaming onto my face. And I also don't go outside a lot, so, I've lightened up over the years, as people
This
do.
is pure
Even
coke.
black people lighten up over the years. As they get older, their skin will lighten up.
Not
It's
really.
just yes, it's physiologically, this is what happens. Not everybody, but most people do. Yeah.
Do you believe that Elizabeth Warren is a native?
I don't know. I've never seen her, CDIB card, certificate degree of Indian blood, as it
You
were,
don't know.
and I've never seen her citizenship card, so I don't know.
Tim, I
All
don't
I'm
think
saying
that
is you look
I
white,
don't
you
think she
act
was
white,
in
you
the
talk white, and, nobody would think you're not white.
What's that?
Yeah, and the
Nobody.
Muskies
Okay. So you said nobody is going to think that I'm not white. Yet my entire life, people always ask me, "Are you Mexican?" I even had one person ask me if I was Japanese. Yeah, I was working at Research. No. I was working at Research, and I'm sitting at the lunch table. This is like my second or third day there, and I'm sitting there, and this guy at the end of the table, he was like, "So what are you, Japanese or something?" Because again, my skin is darker than you think, and he's like, "What are you, Japanese or something?" I looked at this guy, said, "What are you, fucking stupid or something?" Because like, who asked that? And then everybody got real quiet, and I'm like, "Oh fuck." What's going on? It was like real awkward. And then hold on, I'm telling this story. It's funny. So this guy, he looks at me like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And then he starts laughing. So everybody's like, and I learned later he was the assistant store manager.
natives don't really have facial hair like that.
You're right. It's like right here, I don't grow hair. I don't grow hair on my legs. This is like years in the works. You're right. It is very hard. But see, I do have European blood in me, so I do grow some facial hair more than others. But again, my features are native. Hell, my gap teeth are indigenous. What are you talking about?
Do you think that Jews are white?
Wait. Do you have a Mongolian spot or not? I bet you don't.
I don't even know what that is. I'm not
you don't even know what
Mongolian.
that is? Oh my god, dude.
I don't know what a Mongol. I'm not a Mongol. I'm not Mongolian.
That's not what it means.
Well, I don't know what it means. I just told you I didn't know what it means.
So tell us what it means then, Shlomo.
Well, it's basically a birthmark, usually on the buttock or the back, and almost all natives have it.
That's silly. I do have birthmarks.
Ridiculous.
That is
I do have birthmarks.
Are we gonna continue to investigate the race of the host?
I know. Do you want look? I have my fucking citizenship card that I pulled up before.
This is paper, man. Okay.
Actually, it's not. It comes in plastic now. My CDIB card that shows my certificate degree of Indian blood because European supremacists that believe themselves superior came over here, unalived 90% of my people, and then gave us these fucking roll numbers just like they did in the fucking HCOST for the record, and told us the only way that you're going to be able to is if you get on board with this shit, and if you didn't, then you weren't considered Native American, and you're not recognized federally, even if you are. So you have full-blooded Native Americans to this very day who are not recognized by the federal government as being indigenous. It's fucking gross. And you're engaging in that behavior right now.
The chief of the Cherokee Nation is he's 1/8 blood quantum, 1/8, and it's running the whole.
And
show.
I have more indigenous blood in me than him, if that's true.
I mean, I don't think that they, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that they measure your, membership in like an indigenous nation by blood. Right? I think it's by other metrics and stuff like that. It's the Dawes
roll. For citizenship, it's the Dawes roll. Because and that's the term, if you've ever heard $5 Indian, that's because white people would go to the Dawes Commission and they would pay $5 to become, to get on the Dawes roll so that they could get land. And they started, they stole land from us and all kinds of shit any way that they could. Like Governor Stitt's family, for example. He claims to be indigenous. They are what would be called $5 Indians. I literally found the fucking Dawes Commission record report where they were talking about what was said in that goddamn meeting with his like great-great-grandpa or something. And they were all white. They were all white, and yet they paid them money to be on the Dawes roll. So, I mean, to Shlomo's point, being a citizen doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the CDIB card is different.
They probably looked just like you when they were signing up for free land.
They look like Governor Stitt.
It's okay, dude. If you're a member of the tribe, I totally respect that. I've got no problem with that.
Well, apparently not.
I was just checking you, man. I do it to everyone. Don't personally.
Well, no. It's because people do this to me all the time, which it's weird because throughout my entire life, no one has ever accused me of being white. Never. Really? When they see me in person, I do not look white. You can tell that I'm not white.
Well, I'm an Anglo.
Yet now that I'm older and I just don't really go outside a whole hell of a lot, and I've lightened up, and my tribe is light-skinned, more light-skinned than other tribes anyway. And so I go through shit where they think I'm stealing something out of the store, follow me around, do all that shit my whole life and get treated a little differently. Not so bad, but, I've seen it, witnessed firsthand. And then in my old age, I get all of that history erased by white people. It's always white people that come up on this panel and tell me I am not what I am. It's weird, man. So if that's what you engage in and you find that funny or, whatever, it just
Let me
stop.
wrap it up. Let me tell you what I've been doing, okay? So, liberal loudmouth, I'm an Anglo-American, all right? And I've been taught for the last 4 decades that my ancestors, glorious as they were, built a white supremacist system. And that I, as a beneficiary of that system, and conferred with white privilege. Now, I have bestowed upon myself the right to determine who is and who isn't white. Now, in my humble opinion, you are white, and the proof of it is that I've been roasting you pretty fucking hard. But look how you've held it together. You haven't chimped out at all. You've rolled with the punches extremely well. You've given ground where you've been required to, but you've maintained your identity, and that is the best of us, and I'm claiming you as white right now. You can keep your native identity, but we're also claiming you. That's
Host,
white.
Host, you look like Jamiroquai. You literally look like Jamiroquai.
I don't know who that is.
The singer, Cosmic Girl and all of that, like Space Cowboy. You know who I'm talking about.
Fucking damn name? I swear this is a room full of damn white people that have lost their goddamn minds.
No.
Leroy is your name, dude?
But Shlomo, do you see what I mean? He looks like him. Host, Google it. Wait, I'll pull up a picture.
Okay. Just real quick, Host. I just want to say I really like your panels. Like coming up on them. I'm gonna go, but appreciate you having me up as always. And
thanks, Amir.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'd love to listen to your thoughts on how to change this shit at some point. If you'd like to come back.
Yeah, no, I'd love to offer them. Yeah.
The greatest white privilege is that we claim all the best. So, for example, Crazy Horse, he was definitely white. That's my opinion. Because he was such a great warrior. Why wouldn't we claim him?
He's such a great warrior, except you used things that were invented by other people to take land that wasn't yours, to then take inventions and other ideas as your own. Just theft. Violence, that's all you've got. It's like, hey, look, it's the Congo. We found rubber trees. Let me go and unalive 60% of those populations there, cut off the hands if they don't work hard enough as punishment and deterrent for other people to make sure that they keep working. This is the European way. Every European country except maybe 6 engaged in colonizer behavior. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Neanderthal DNA that exists within Europeans. I don't understand why they're so violent, but if you want to come up here and you're proud of that, more power to you, I guess.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't I be proud of that? Your glorious ancestors were very violent as well. The Comanche probably.
Why you aren't proud of? You're proud of being violent people?
Yes, of course. We're big winners.
Well, that tracks. That tracks.
Yeah, like it's like, what about the Comanche? Okay, they were savage animals as well.
When he said that, Trax, that wasn't a compliment. I know you I know you wanted to just keep going forward, like somebody complimented you. That was not a compliment. You are not comprehending. You just listening.
Well, so he's not.
It's a Neanderthal DNA.
You were just insulted, and you were like,
I
"Oh
don't
yeah,
think you
great," and
understand.
kept going.
I don't think you
I'm
understand.
about to get into his ass too, because I know before he brought me up here, he saw me in the comments. So I'm about to get into his ass too. But before I do that, you are way worse.
I did what?
Oh, we're gonna talk. It's gonna be civil, but we're gonna talk. But sir, whoever the hell you are, with your rabbi picture and you claim you're Indian and you're proud to be violent and all of that other bullshit, you old damn white dude that wants to claim every fucking body else's DNA just so that you can try to put them down. Shut the fuck up.
And there's nothing you can do about it except suck it up and cry.
You know what? You
What are you
got a fucking point. Unless, of course, I'm like that bitch that drove 3 hours to damn confront that dude. I hope you ain't got a grind account.
I'm all about that shit.
What the fuck you dealing with when you talking to people online? So, you know what? Watch your mouth, Rabbi.
Man, I swear to God, I'm
turn me on
one of
big,
these
please.
things.
Bye, Rabbi. You and Leroy's white ass. You and Leroy's white ass. He kissed my black ass. And guess what? I can pull my camera up.
We gonna get up and get back.
I tell you what.
Host, you literally look like him. You literally look like him.
Tim, I'm gonna. I got a.
Who looks like who? With me and my damn black ass dreadlocks. Who looks like who?
Well, he was talking about me. Now, do what, Nadine? Hold on, Nadine. Do what now?
I got a whole bunch of shit to do, but you have fun with this. What this turned into?
Because I'm about to get loud. Because I'm about to be angry in a minute.
Miss T's live content is flagged for harassment and bullying. Hold on, guys. So, Miss T, I've got to drop you. You got a violation. I don't know why. Harassment. Okay, it's so weird. Okay, hold on. So let me get this straight. This man is sitting up here saying racist shit. We had somebody say the N-word. Miss T comes up here, shows her camera, and gets dinged for harassment and bullying. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm not racist at all, man.
On our side.
You said chimp out. You said that I didn't chimp out. What the fuck do you call that, bitch?
No, what happened is one of these fragile.
Yeah, what do you call that? What the fuck do you think that is?
Is what that
was. I know it's a compliment, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you're scared and you got to report people.
Yeah,
TikTok also on our side.
Then you might want to tell your fans to calm down. Maybe you need to tell your fans to stop
on your
chipping out.
incredible toys, and then I claimed you as being, as white. What's wrong with that?
This is weird.
Albinoing out.
What is
albino out? How about that?
Host, wouldn't you agree that you literally look like the guy
all over TikTok? Don't albino out. How about that?
No, I don't agree that I look like that guy.
Well, why would I not claim you as white?
Shlomo, do you agree? The host looks like the guy I just posted. The guy got brought up here.
Okay, and nor do I give a shit. Like
if you had half the
he's
character
fully white.
He's guys, let me say something. Leroy, if you had half the character that Eric has, you'd actually be something. But you just want to troll. You just want to talk about fucking race when you actually haven't accomplished anything in your own fucking life. So take your Wignat bullshit and send it right up your ass. Because you don't know how to unite. You don't know how to create fucking allies. All you do is disenfranchise yourself, and you make your own people look like fucking fools.
Okay, it's not that deep, Johnny. You know.
Well,
I don't know why you were giving
I don't know.
here,
I don't know
whatever.
what you thought the point of putting that picture up is, and saying I look like somebody. Like it serves no purpose.
Look,
you guys have been saying that I look that way for almost 30 minutes now. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You can have an opinion, but that doesn't make it reality.
Host, your
I do
opinion.
not want to be claimed as
Your
white.
skin color is the type of skin color English people get when they're in the sun too long.
Yeah, look how ruddy you are.
No, actually, you can tell the difference.
Your name is Leroy.
You can tell the difference between you can tell the difference between a white person who has blistered over the years and their skin turned fucking red and brittle and wrinkly as fuck. You can tell the difference. I don't get sunburns, guys. I just get darker like I used to. I don't get sunburns.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm certain.
Remarkable.
No, it's not remarkable because I am melanated more so than white people are.
I don't know if I believe that.
You don't
I don't care what you believe or not.
Jomo, he's got a point. My brother doesn't get sunburns either, and he isn't white, so that's one of the easiest ones to check.
Well, I don't need 10,000 SPF either to prevent it.
What color are your eyes?
So wait, so
my
you
brother
get
is white,
sunburned?
but somebody named you Leroy.
Loudmouth, do you have green eyes?
Miss T, I don't know.
No, I have brown eyes.
They're brown?
Baby, if you don't know, I tell you what. Before you type that fake ass name in, you knew then.
What?
Okay,
Why are you
so
treating
we're going to move on
bringing
from
in their
this
whole
because guys, like none of this matters. We were having a good discussion about politics, about changing the government.
Can you please
and
remove these racists, please?
who is that? Who is that? Blackoid?
Blackoid.
Is Leroy a racist? I don't know the guy.
No.
Leroy's a racist. Shlomo's a racist.
What's the problem?
Okay.
They call me a nigger. They call me a
All right. Well, fair enough, because honestly, it's just derailing. I don't even understand what's going on at this point.
Thank you for that.
Liberal
weird.
loudmouth. So can I address something really quick before you get back to where you were before?
Sure. Does it have to do with politics?
No, it has to do with what you and your friends were talking about for about 15, 20 minutes, which is what brought me up here.
About what?
Like what the first thing that interested me was when you said people, and you're dark skinned or you're indigenous or whatever. You were like, oh, as you get older, your skin gets lighter. And I was very curious. I haven't gotten to the question yet. I was very curious about that because I have a white passing mother. And one of the things that I've noticed over the last 46 years of my life is that they get darker.
A white person getting darker is not the same thing as a person with darker skin getting lighter, right? Can we agree on that?
Usually happens in the winter.
Liberal. I'm sorry. I'm sick to my stomach to where they've tried to bring your live today.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're trying to erase.
I came up here where it was.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that were here before. They totally derailed it.
They did.
Usually we have great discussions.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, hang around because I'm going to move on from this. It's. I see what they're doing and it's ridiculous. Again, this is part of this campaign, and I don't know, Miss T. Look, if you were offended by something I said, I just don't really give a fuck. Okay. I just don't care. You can be mad. You can clutch your fucking pearls. I don't give a shit because what I know is that my entire family, I've watched my entire family. My mother is half indigenous. She's half. She's dark.
Since you don't give a shit on behalf of your family, I won't give a shit on behalf of mine, and we could just not talk about it anymore. However, don't sit here and talk about it as if there wasn't an offense that was made. I can let it go because I've actually kind of on the sidelines watched some of your lives before.
Stop trying to erase his indigenous.
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of a
go ahead and let her finish. That's fine. Go ahead, Miss T.
Fucking nigger. Shut up.
Okay, and you're gone. Okay.
So, like I was saying, hold on. I'm trying to calm down. So I'm trying to cool down because what I'm realizing is that more than likely you entertained a conversation you should not have entertained for longer than you should have. Because what happened was while you were in the middle of trying to make things make sense for those idiots, there were other people listening to it that it was really and truly kind of, where you hear that MAGA talking point of, liberals are just as racist or more racist than us. Here's the thing. You were engaged in that conversation from your end, not from the outside looking in. I'm telling you that those people came up to have that conversation with you about your skin color, and they dragged some things out of your mouth that would have made other melanated people have questions. And
what?
So
the fuck are you talking about? They were up here for an hour. Well, hold on, Miss T. I don't know when you came into the conversation. That dude was up here for like an hour.
But I'm trying to tell you.
I said we were moving on.
What I heard.
I literally said we were moving on. And look, it is a fact that people with darker skin color, they get lighter over the years. Melanin production,
so
yes.
Let's walk through my house and look at the pictures of my mother, and we'll talk about that.
Let me pull it up, because I'll just, you know what, I'll just prove it to you. Because listen, it is a fucking fact right here. In subjects older than 25 to 30 years, the number of enzymatically active melanocytes detectable by the DOPA reaction decreases by about 10 to 20% per decade, with exposed skin having approximately twice as many pigment cells as unexposed skin. Chronic exposure to sunlight, the shit lightens you up because your hormones start to reduce. Your hormones are what produce some of these melanocytes, which causes melanin, which causes darker skin. It is a fucking fact. Not for everybody. There are exceptions to this rule. You can find people that may darken over time because of sun exposure, what have you, but physiologically speaking, your melanocytes stop producing as much as you get older. There is nothing wrong with that. It's a fact. Look it up. Just Google the shit. It's like, I don't know why this is even a problem.
Because you were the one having this conversation. That's why it's a problem. You were having this conversation. I'm having this
conversation. What conversation?
Your goal was to have the conversation with a bunch of white racists. You didn't think about the fact that other people would listen to it.
No, that wasn't my goal.
Who are you
listen,
to tell them?
Listen, Miss T. Okay, let me explain the context, because I don't think you were here from the beginning. They were up here for an hour. We were talking about.
For the audience, we're all nauseated.
Yeah, we were all talking about
perpetuation
politics.
Of race.
Yeah, we were all talking about politics. We were talking about, hell, even lawyers being shitty. That's Shlomo. That was the first thing he came up with. He only just, and I don't remember what brought it up. He said that I wasn't indigenous. He called me white. I rebutted that. I rebutted it for 20 minutes. It was annoying. And I said we were going to move on. And he kept going. And then Leroy fucking jumped in there. And then you jumped up here and started this. So I don't even understand what this is. Like you're wanting me to do something, and look, you're not going to come up and make demands of me and have me like do what you say. That's not going to happen.
I didn't ask you to do anything but listen.
And I did listen.
No, you didn't. You decided to cut me off.
What? I let you go on and speak. I did not cut you off.
Was you said, "Hey, we've been talking about this for an hour, so screw you. I don't care what you think."
I don't care what you think.
All I was trying to tell you was that the last 5 to 10 minutes of that conversation, you don't know, because you were talking to two specific people. However, you have a live that's open to everyone. And all I was saying was, hey, this is what I heard, and it didn't sit right with me. The first thing I heard out of your mouth was, well, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, you voiced your opinion. I allowed you to voice your opinion. I allowed you to voice it again.
Like you said, I guess like what you said, you don't give a fuck.
Right. Look, you can have a criticism on my show, and that's fine. I'll let you voice that. I don't agree with you.
I guess that part is done.
Sure. We can move on. Although, like, at this point, like, this is just, it's gotten weird. Johnny, has it not gotten weird?
It has gotten weird. Because now you're having a
Misty,
conversation with someone.
We usually have like 1 minute to say our piece. We usually have, Misty, 1 minute each to say our piece on this live. So you're doing the same thing that they're doing. You're trying to grandstand. You're trying to, bully the live. You're trying to take the bully pulpit. People would actually like to hear, a variety of voices speak their opinion. In Liberal's defense, he doesn't know these guys. He was trying to figure out where they were even coming from. I mean, for goodness sake, you're attacking somebody that actually is better at uniting the left and right than most people I've ever experienced in my fucking lifetime. So I don't think you've ever actually taken any time to listen to this live. I think you saw it, you got triggered, and you're taking out your vengeance on those people, those strangers to Liberal, who he has no idea who they are. You have actually no idea his political views, more than likely, and I'm sorry to say it, but the definition of liberal, you're claiming that he needs to be in your group, but I would say that Liberal's definition of liberal is Liberals' definition of
don't
liberal
assume who I
is
am.
far removed from what you think it is. And that means that basically, you know, I'll let him speak for himself, but Tim, you know, I think has some great ideas for this country. He's great for TV, he's great for radio, and we disagree on a lot of stuff. I'm a conservative. I'm
probably better for radio than TV. I'll just probably better for radio than TV.
But me and liberal disagree on a lot of shit, but we could still, you know, actually interact and have a conversation. When have you ever seen that happen in the last 10 years between conservatives and liberals? Tell me, please, Miss T, which mainstream newscast is actually bringing liberals and conservatives together in a productive manner?
Yeah.
Hell, I can't think of one because I don't watch them. I actually managed to read and have my opinions without having it being influenced by a pundit. So when you ask me who have I seen that can pull somebody together, I haven't seen anybody that can pull somebody together, but I do know that me living in freaking damn Talladega County, Alabama, trust and believe I come together with many conservatives, and I don't consider myself a liberal or a conservative. I consider myself an independent. And so, you know, it's like once you say, hey, you don't give a fuck, you don't want to hear anything else, it's like, great. You know what? I'll just listen to I will either listen or participate in the rest of the conversation. But Johnny, that little diatribe you just went on, I didn't appreciate it all. But again, we're letting it go.
With all due respect, I didn't appreciate anything you had to say.
Go, right? Or did you just not have the last word?
No,
so
you don't need to be angry. You don't need to be angry. I didn't appreciate what you had to say either.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
You can call me angry all you want. Now just let it go.
Well, she has a right to hear something that upsets her and come up here and voice it. I don't like. That's fine. You can, guys, you criticize me if you have.
That whole thing where it's like, oh, she's black, so I'm gonna call her angry and see if I can trigger her. That's some bullshit.
No, I was saying your lack of letting me respond to you.
You did that shit on purpose. You did that
you're
shit
angry.
on purpose.
It's obvious. It's apparent. It's apparent.
Well,
okay, you just didn't want me to respond to you.
Okay, guys, this is getting nowhere. It's like I don't even know what we're talking. We can move on from this because you know this. Maybe this was Shlomo and Leroy's whole fucking.
And I will.
Well, you know, that may have been Shlomo and Leroy's fucking point was to come up and, you know, derail shit. I don't even know.
I'm more than willing to move on.
No, I'm talking about those two jackasses that were sitting here, you know, Shlomo up here pretending like he, you know, is a decent person. I was wondering because people were like, oh, you're behaving today. And I'm like, I've never seen this guy, so I don't know who he is or how he acts, but I can see why. Yes, right. No, I can see that now. It was like, I guess he was like, well, I'm getting sick and tired of being like a regular person. I think I'll turn into a jackass now. And then he did that. So, I mean, good job, Shlomo. Like, what the fuck?
It's an extreme waste of intelligence, unfortunately.
Yeah, as Zio says, this is a planned attack. It's not making any sense because, Miss T, I'm not going to make any accusations.
And another thing, what I was trying to tell you when you said it's a planned attack, that's another thing that I was trying to tell you in the beginning when I was saying that you had a conversation that lasted too long. That's exactly what I was getting to when, everybody was, I was starting to feel like I was going crazy because I was saying that and you guys were like, huh? What are you talking about? And then you ended
I told him I was sick to my stomach.
I could have sworn when I said and that wasn't the end of the sentence.
How long do you think is too long? Like, at what point in that conversation were you like, okay, this is too much?
I'm at the point now where I was making a point. I said, and Johnny interrupted me. And now all of a sudden we're going just on to another question to me. Because I didn't even finish my point.
Well, you came up here to address me. So why can I not address
you?
I
haven't finished the point yet because as soon as Johnny interrupts, you come in with another question. So I never
calm down.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So let me. Okay.
And Johnny started talking.
Miss T.
It was anecdotal to your point. It was anecdotal to your point.
Okay, so people are confused about what is upsetting to Miss T. I think Miss T is upset because I had stated. Well, I heard what you said because I had said that Skin lightens over time. My mother, who used to be very dark, she is now light. I have watched myself get lighter over time. There is studies to show that the pigmentation, melanin, becomes very, disturbed or whatever. And you'll end up, some people will get even dark spots, but then the rest of their skin can lighten up. This is something that's true. This is a statement that I made when people are accusing me of being a white person because I've got these 3 white fucking lights beaming down on my face, so I look
looked that
lighter.
up 15 minutes ago and conceded it to you that you guys.
Yeah.
I conceded that a while ago, but that's how much you guys aren't listening to me. You didn't even hear me concede that point.
No, I didn't hear you concede that.
You guys are not. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. When I kept sitting
what
here
would
saying,
you like to discuss, Miss T?
You see that? No, I want to finish a point that I make. I want to finish a point that I make that would have ended in an apology, but none of you are letting me finish. And you're sitting here talking about people in the comments are trying to figure out what Miss T is saying, probably because it sounds like she's jumping all over the place because none of you will shut up.
Well, we've shut up now, so please, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
So what I was trying to say from the beginning, and then if I could get to the end, what I was trying to say at the beginning was I thought you were having a conversation that had gone on too long, because what was ending up happening as far as the algorithm was concerned is it was bringing people in that were not a part of the conversation, and catching the tail end of the conversation was starting to sound offensive. And those guys were dragging you into that. That's what I was trying to tell you from the beginning. And then we kept sitting here arguing. And then you guys, I really started getting upset because you guys started basically coming around to that same point, but never once letting me get that out of my mouth. Number 2, when we kept going around and around and you started reading me what you were saying about melanated skin, I Googled it. I was literally reading along with you. It's like, oh, my bad. And you also even said, hey, it's different within families. When you said that, I walked away from my mom's picture and I was like, you know what? Let me go and look, because what happened in our family is definitely very unique, because my mom has a twin sister that's like way darker than her. So I was like, you know what? Let me just actually look this up, was my train of thought. And when I looked it up, it was word for word, basically everything that you were reading. And as I'm trying to say, hey, I see what you're saying, but I also still believe that you were having that conversation with those guys for way too long. Johnny kept interrupting me. And every time he interrupted me, you would ask me a question instead of letting me finish. And that's how we got here, in case you're wondering how we got here. We got here because you guys were being very much males and not listening to me.
Okay, do you feel like you've had your say? Do you feel like you've finished? Because I don't want to feel like you're being interrupted. I don't want you to feel that way.
I'm finished.
Okay. So to that point, like, I tried to move on from them. They were making accusations that I was a white person. I know I'm not. They were trying to erase my, lived fucking experiences, which is what white people try to do all the time. And that's what they were doing. And I tried to move on, but they just kept, and then other people came up here who I don't know these people, right? They're just random people coming up. I agree with you. That went on way too long. That's an irritation that hosts have all the time, is conversations will just continue and continue. But that's a balance that we have to make, right? We have to decide, do I kick this person because they're just being a jackass? Do I let them speak because I believe in free speech? Do I, all these things you have to weigh in your mind. So, it's easy to criticize a host, especially if you, and I'm not sure if you host or not, but if you do, then surely you would understand. If you don't, then there's a lot more to it than just,
I don't.
what I mean? Right. So there's a lot of things going on. Plus I have no mods. So I'm doing all this stuff by myself. So if you thought it went on too long, I mean, I agree. I think it went on too long. It was annoying. It really was. Anyway.
That's why I kept yelling, because I knew that we were agreeing with each other, but I could never get it out. Okay. And I don't know. And I would just say to you all as men, you should maybe check yourselves on that.
Well, okay, so here's what I'm going to do,
Miss
because
T, am I allowed
all
to
of this.
talk now? I've been quiet for a fucking
Yes,
hour.
let me just say, all of this is recorded, so I'm going to go back in here and see if I interrupted, because I don't remember interrupting you. I don't remember that.
Every time,
so if you're telling,
every time I
well, you just,
I made a point, and I apologize because I am interrupting now.
I know.
Every time this is what I want you to look for when you go back and you look. Every time I tried to make a point, Johnny would say something against my point. As I tried to finish my point, you would ask me another question.
You've been talking for 10 minutes straight. You've had more airtime than anybody in the last 20 minutes. We've all heard your fucking points, lady.
Go ahead, baby. Hear yourself, because I know you love it.
Well, go ahead, Johnny.
Can I speak now, or?
Oh, yeah, actually, Johnny, will you defer?
Please, give me 10 seconds.
Say you just
give me
wanted me to
10
shut up.
seconds. Here, liberal, after this, go and do an investigation on how many times Johnny interrupted Miss T, because that's going to be earth-shattering, world-changing fucking news.
I mean, it's streaming right now. I can just play it back if we really want to know. I don't really care to do that, but we could do it in real time and see if there were interruptions.
Let me hear my voice some more, since he keeps inviting it.
I mean, I really don't want to, but like I can do that. Like I said, I'll go back and look, because what you're saying,
so light when I hear
what
myself.
you're saying is your perception of what happened, and I don't remember it that way. But it's, we always remember shit differently. But Johnny, to that point, Semite has been waiting for a while. I don't think Semite's spoken yet. So, Semite, if you want to jump in there, you're welcome to. Go ahead.
I've been trying to, but people keep yelling over top of me.
Sure, go ahead.
That's very healthy for your live. Well, first of all, I disagree with Miss T. It actually takes a huge special person to unite people. Not just anybody can unite people. And similar to your story, when I was younger, I was quite often, people would guess if I was Italian or Spanish, because I was good looking with a full head of hair. But as I got older and uglier, people just knew I was Arab. I just wanted to say it's funny how you're constantly having to defend. I've seen you defend your heritage more than I've seen a person transitioning have to defend their transition.
Yeah, it's very weird. Well, the floor is yours.
It's a Zio thing that they do. It's a Zio thing that they do is when they have a person of the good Jewish faith come up and attack or speak against their G side, they'll just deny their heritage. So I think it's something that it's a very deceptive way to get you off of your topic. So whatever you were talking about must have been very important to have these trolls come and try to make you have to defend your heritage. And I could tell by your facial structure, I'm from Canada, hey, and I speak like a white person, and I have a sister who speaks like a white person whose skin tone is very similar to my mother's. She's pale and she's got green eyes. So I mean, does that not make her Lebanese? Because she talks like she's white and she's got white skin and she's got green eyes, does that make her not Lebanese?
I actually heard, and it was very interesting to me. It was actually last night. I heard. Sorry, I'm chewing some rice. I heard a gentleman who, in my opinion, looked very white presenting. He had an accent. I wasn't sure where it was from, but it was definitely European. And he was talking about how he'd lived all over the world and he'd never been asked what his race was. And after he came to America, he had some type of paperwork that he had to do, and he was asked what his race was. And he was saying, he was talking about how for years he marked other because he didn't understand the question. And so I when you're talking about your sister being Lebanese, that's curious to me because like I said, I don't know where this gentleman was from, but the concept of black, white, Asian, all of these things were ridiculously foreign to him. So I guess my question is that a thing in Lebanon?
My mother also had pale skin
But
and
that
green
no
eyes.
no. I will repeat what I said. I was and I know that Lebanon, you don't necessarily, maybe you wouldn't necessarily consider that Europe. Maybe you would consider that the Middle East. I don't know. I'm American, so me and geography are not friends. But I found it very curious because, again, I just heard this yesterday that I'm hearing this man that's not from the United States talk about the fact that the concept of something being black, white, Asian, indigenous, Pacific Islander, all of these things, for him, it was a completely foreign concept because he looked at it as being American. When they asked him, he said that when he finally had someone explain to him, "Oh, you're white," and he was like, "Oh no, those are Americans." I was so that's what my question to you was: is being black, hey, are you black? Are you white? Are you Pacific Islander? Are you Asian? Are you any of these things? Is that something that is asked of you in Lebanon? Your sister having a certain color of hair and green eyes and everything else, maybe these are not characteristics that you would think of as a Lebanese person. But my question is that a question someone would ask in Lebanon?
They more ask where you're from when you can't speak the language fluently.
Yeah, so
But
that's where I'm confused. Is like if that's not a concept in your country, why would you associate your sister's looks with whiteness?
So I looked it up, and maybe this will help. It says Lebanon.
That guy came up.
I looked it up. This is what I've read. It says Lebanon doesn't.
Early.
Go ahead, Semite.
The reason why I had said that was because you had that white guy come up earlier and say, "Well, you speak like you're white, so you must be white."
Right. And he even said that I didn't chimp out, which to him meant.
Say that.
No,
Please
that's
don't
what
say
he
that.
said. That's what he said to
Okay.
me. He said, because I didn't chimp out when he was lodging all these accusations, that he's going to claim me as white. Because he's just a fucking racist. And that was why I just ended up dropping him. Like, so these people are fucking stupid. But to the point about the Lebanon, the question you asked, I feel like is valid because I don't know. But I looked it up and it says Lebanon doesn't separate people by race the way the U.S. does. It separates them by religion, and that separation is baked into the Constitution and the government itself. It also says that Lebanon has not conducted a national census since 1932. Also, in the United States, people from Lebanon, Syria, what would be considered Swana or what other people know as the Middle East, they're considered white in a court case in the United States because they didn't want to acknowledge that Jesus Christ would have had dark skin. They considered them white. They called them white, and that's why today, those people from those nations are considered white people as it relates to like censuses and shit like that. It's weird.
I mean, it's weird. It's just I think about like the fact that people from Africa do not consider themselves black because I mean when you're in a country that is inside of a continent where everyone is black, you don't separate yourself that way. And in America we do a lot, and I really wanted to touch on it in a global sense, just to get a touch on how ridiculous it is that America does separate people by race.
Yeah, to that point about black not being something, I guess a term they probably don't use there, is because when all the people from Africa that they stole, essentially, they were all from different tribes, they were from different bands, they had different cultures and backgrounds and belief systems, but then when they got here, they were all property. So they erased all of their heritage, and so a lot of people
not
don't.
Completely.
They're not sure.
Do you
A
know
lot of
about
people.
our East Coast?
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of Black Americans don't know exactly where they came from as a result of this fucking chattel slavery, and so black is what is considered. So it is a weird dynamic because there are so many different types of what we consider black people, and we don't acknowledge it, and it's really fucking gross. And that's a product
It's
of
crazy to me
colonialism.
when I hear people talk about the fact that when it comes to the slave trade, slave traders were not running through Africa just collecting random black people. You had different tribes that were at war with each other, and slavery is very prominent in the Middle East. It still is today, and it was more something like indentured servitude, but neither here nor there. And so yeah, you did have different tribes who may have been at war with another tribe, and they've taken prisoners, and yeah, they were selling those people off, either, and even sometimes within their own country, if it was someone especially that royalty had some type of beef with. That's what they did. They gave them to the white people, not because, oh, these are my people, but I find it very interesting that conservatives who have no desire to learn what that history is mistakenly say, oh, your people sold your own people. It's like, no, we were not all one people. We just had the same skin color and ended up being enslaved here.
Right.
But we were not all one people.
That's a great point, Ms. T.
If you
That's a
go
great
down,
point.
and when I was asking about whether or not you knew about our eastern coastline, those are the Gullah Geechee people. Have you ever heard of the Gullah Geechee people?
I have not. There are so many different, groups
Well,
of
no, this is going to blow
people,
your
and
mind. This is going to blow your mind. You're going to love this. So the Gullah Geechee people are a group of Africans who, off of the coast of South Carolina, there are islands that many people don't know they're islands. If you have ever seen the movie Patriot Games, they actually allude to those islands at the end of the movie when they're on the beach, and all of a sudden it's like, well, where did all the black people go? And all of a sudden the black people show up on the beach with all the kids. It's because they were off the coast of South Carolina, where all of those islands are located. And those islands is where they cultivated rice, which also off of the western coast of Africa, that's what these people did. They cultivated rice, and they weren't just brought here because of the color of their skin. They were brought here because of their skills. And in those marsh islands, that's where you get Carolina gold rice and things like that. And those people, because of the harsh conditions on those islands, even though the people worked those lands alone, and the white people came in and they took, of course, the fruits of those labors, but they did not actually interact with the people on the islands because the white people were not able to handle the mosquitoes and the marshy area. And so they were left to themselves. So because they were left to themselves, those are one of the few groups of black people in this country that have a Creole language that is a combination of multiple African languages plus English, plus it's like they made this Creole soup, which created a language, which is the Gullah Geechee language. There's a creator on TikTok named Sunman Show who he actually talks about it. He's a professor at Harvard who they're trying to keep the language alive because it's dying out. I'm sorry, I'm about to get a little emotional. A lot of the dialect that you hear in African American vernacular English is a part of that Creole language. And what people call ebonics, what people call improper English, where a black person would say a battery instead of a battery, that is a part of that language and that culture. And it's still here in this country, and it's dying out. And it's never been taught in our schools. People don't know it, but it exists. And one of the things that bothers me about the separation that has happened in this country and that has been happening for generations. And we're now like, oh, it's the Republicans that are doing it. It's the Democrats that are doing it. No, it's Americans that are doing it. Black and white are trying to erase that culture and call it inferior. And there is so much culture in this country that we have that's a part of you all too. It's not something that's inferior. It's American and it's a part of us. And I don't think not a single American school has ever taught that.
I've never even heard of that, but I was looking it up, and it basically what that means is that we imported rice farming from another country and then gave no credit whatsoever to those individuals. It's and you know, when I hear stories like it just drives home the sheer volume of fucked up shit that these people have done over the course of our history. It's fucking wild. I appreciate you putting me onto that, Miss T, because
somebody in the comments just said something. So somebody just said, what Black people are trying to erase that culture? Sweetheart, the different generations, because they have been taught, they were literally telling these children that they were literally saying that because of the way these children spoke, they were putting them in special ed classes and all kinds of things. So now we've gotten to a place on those islands where these children, they own the lands there and everything. They're selling it off as if it's absolutely nothing because they want to be in a closer proximity to whiteness. And if you are not Gullah Geechee and you don't know what that struggle is, don't ask that fucking question.
Yeah, they did this to indigenous peoples too, where they beat the language out of them, made them adopt their fucking shit. They've, anybody that was not white,
it's just now coming to its fruition off of our East Coast because it's been ignored for so long.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I've never heard of those. Those people, and it's
a whole language and everything. If you go on YouTube, you can see videos. You can see how we cook.
That's pretty wild.
Have you ever heard of jollof rice?
Yes.
We have a rice here that's jollof rice. It's red rice. We have the same thing here. We brought our culture back from Africa, and it's here, and it's alive in America, and it's dying. Yeah. And people like Johnny are the people who say it doesn't matter and it's not important. And that fucking shit bothers me.
You don't even know me. You don't know if
Is she crying like a little victim or crying like a little monkey? Is she crying like a little monkey?
Okay. Poppy, get the fuck out of here, you dumb ass motherfucker.
Your own first impression out. I did not invite you to give me that first impression. That's what you wanted me to know of you. So don't blame me because I believe you.
Johnny, you're free to say, if you had something you wanted to say, you're welcome to say it. Otherwise, I'm going to get to Dina because Dina just came in. But Johnny, go ahead if you want.
No. Give me a minute. No, I'm listening. I'm not.
Sure.
I just clear up the record in a second.
Okay. Yeah, Dina, what's up? Welcome in.
Oh, hey. I don't know if you've seen the news today. But Denmark has labeled the U.S. a possible security risk. And apparently that feeling is spreading all across Europe, our allies. And they say that they consider us a possible security risk because Trump is trying to push his will through tariffs. And they don't discount the possibility that they think that he may use military force on his allies to get his way.
Yeah, no, we covered this yesterday, I believe.
Okay, well, I just read the news today, and I was just so upset by it that I don't think people realize when our allies start turning against us. And oh, by the way, we have the BRICS nations, which right now there's 15 nations that belong to BRICS, and then we have the NATO nations, right? And it's the NATO nations that's keeping the dollar the dominant form of currency. If it gets to the point to where the dollar is no longer the supreme currency, all of that debt we owe, it's going to be due on that day. This is serious, serious stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, as Bravo, I will mirror what Ziotalk says. Bravo, Denmark. Because, I mean, look, and I'm going to play this clip. I played it yesterday. This is a different clip, but it's the same interview. So let me just play this so everybody can see.
Parliament and chair of its defense committee. Thanks so much for joining.
Hello, Jim. Thank you.
So first, I'd like your reaction to seeing Denmark, a NATO treaty ally, looking across the Atlantic at the U.S. and seeing a potential threat. Tell me how the two countries got here.
We've had great relations with the United States for centuries, and we have appreciated the relations we had since the Americans helped liberate Europe and our country in the Second World War. And we've been very loyal allies to each other for the past 80 years. We've participated in all the major U.S.-led wars in Korea, in the Gulf, and many other places in Afghanistan, Iraq, and so on. So it's not great that now we're receiving threats regarding Greenland, which is the main concern from a Danish point of view.
Yeah. Listen, as I've reminded viewers and others, Denmark did some of the hardest combat duty in Afghanistan as well and lost many of its soldiers and quite a large percentage of Denmark's overall forces there. As you know, there are many in this country who disagree with the U.S. president on its approach to Denmark, including both Democratic and Republican lawmakers. Do you believe there is anything standing in the way of President Trump continuing to antagonize Denmark? So, I mean, my question is this just about President Trump, or do you believe the entire country, in effect, has turned against Denmark?
No, we don't believe the entire United States of America has turned against Denmark or against Europe. We know very well that there's a lot of different opinions in the American public. And we've also seen polls citing that there's not a majority of the population that agrees with the idea of starting a war with Denmark to take over Greenland that doesn't want to be part of the United States. So I would hope that reason would stand in the way of this happening. And we hope we can also appeal to the Americans' self-interest. It's not about just loyalty to allies. It's also about self-interest, that there's no need to have bad relations across the Atlantic. We want to have good relations with Americans. We think it's very beneficial to both countries, and the Americans have access to everything they could possibly want in Greenland, including natural resources, military access, and everything else. They already have it. So there is no need for any type of military action or any threat of taking over the country in any other way.
What a fucked up situation they find themselves in, where this ally, that they've had, quote unquote allies, just, this Donald Trump fucking ridiculous crap. He's going around threatening these people, and they know that, militarily, there's not much they can do to stop that. So what a fucked up scenario that is. Now, Miss T, did you say you wanted to say something about it? I thought I saw a comment.
Yes,
I only saw part of it.
You did see that comment.
Okay.
And
okay.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on for 1 minute. Hopi, you are supposed to have an ugly Christmas sweater. It's not a Christmas outfit. It's an ugly Christmas sweater. I know what I'm talking about. I'm grown. I'm sorry. I have to answer that question in a minute. Hold on.
Okay. I'll come back to you.
Yes. Right, I got a second here. I can respond, and it's not anything that the speech is going to think.
Oh, we're losing it, Johnny. Johnny, you're breaking up. Oh. Yeah, you've got bars, Johnny.
My child, so she wouldn't shut up. You guys have heard me.
I'll wait.
So if you can imagine it. So if you can imagine a 10-year-old version, that's what I was just arguing with about that Christmas sweater. But I'm so proud. But I was thinking about the idea that I think about in my mind, Trump is a true nationalist. I think that this is what he wants. I don't think he wants us to have allies. I really and truly do believe that Trump is so much of a nationalist that he believes that we can completely and totally isolate ourselves and keep ourselves away from everyone else. And I think that's his goal. I've watched,
especially if he's a Russian asset.
From the 80s. Well, I've watched interviews of him from the 80s, and he was expressing views like this way back before he did whatever the hell he did with Bubba. But since you mentioned Russian asset, I don't think it's an asset. I think he's a Russian hostage.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Either way, you know. Johnny.
About this, and people are wanting to say, "Oh, well, Trump is doing this, this really bad thing." Have we thought about the fact that Trump isn't going to care that we think it's a bad thing because that's his goal?
Yeah. Now, Johnny, you've been trying to say something for a minute, please. Real quick, Bobby B, thank you for the $10. Amir, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you all for supporting. Now, Johnny, please go ahead. I'd love to hear what you got.
Okay, so Semite brought up a very good point. At the beginning of his monologue, saying that. It was almost like a precise moment we were talking about something that maybe some people don't want us talking about. And those two things were, how one of your commenters had a very good, I think a reasonable idea of making Supreme Court limits 18 years, replacing one every 2 years. And then also in regards to what Semite was saying, we're also, I was just having fun this morning. I was like, hey, liberal, can we troll Erica Kirkowitz this morning? And, it kind of turned into some fun. We were all kind of just bantering. And then all of a sudden, Shlomo Shekelblatt and Leroy Jenkins and, Blackoid and all these people run up here. And I've crossed paths with these guys. But anyways, to Miss T's remarks, you don't know that I'm not concerned or wouldn't like to hear about your people or your people's story or about my actual true beliefs, my morality, my family, and these kinds of things. But this is what I'll say, and I'm kind of glad this happened because I'm getting absolutely sick of people buying this idea that Candace is crazy, that Candace is off on another tangent, that Candace is on menopause, that Candace just doesn't, she's lost the plot, she's lost her mind.
She just had a baby. She ain't in menopause. She's on point.
Oh, Johnny, the Mossad got you again, buddy. Get away from the pager.
I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. I'm sorry if that was too loud in y'all ears.
You're good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, back away from the pager, man. No, Johnny, you were breaking up.
I will tell you something. Just
right,
so that
I should be good now. I should be good now.
We don't know each other.
Just hang on a second, please.
Oh yeah.
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay,
and,
cool,
go ahead and wrap up your.
I'm very glad. Yeah. That is a very good anecdotal point. I appreciate that, and I will let you know, Miss T, that about 6 months ago, I was at the point where I was feeling like all hope is lost. We've devolved into a race-warring, tribalist nation that is going to end up in a civil war. And I will say, Candace Owens is the most fucking American woman I have ever seen in my life. And I don't care about your politics. I don't care if you're left or right, or if you're going to grab a soundbite and say, well, she said something about the LGBT, or she said something about BLM, or she said something about, shut up. She is, you don't need to jump on this propaganda bandwagon where literally she's saying these days, I don't care about left or right anymore. If we can't trust the FBI to actually, seek true justice, what happens when it happens to one of your people? What happens when it happens to Bernie Sanders? What happens when it happens to Nick Fuentes? What happens, people don't realize.
Letitia James, it's on the way. It's already happening.
Yeah,
it's already
exactly. And so that's, this is where we were on to. We started, I was talking about trolling Erica Kirk,
Fred Hampton.
Right? we were talking about trolling Erica Kirk, and then all of a sudden it became a dogpile on Candace. We moved away from the Supreme Court talk, and we started talking about fucking race. And Liberal knows he might not. There's two things I try to avoid on TikTok. It's race and AB, because I think they're fruitless. They're fruitless talks. Now, Misty, I was actually enjoying listening to your, the history of your people's culture and those islands. I mean, I didn't catch it all. I'm kind of busy, but don't blanket assume that a conservative it doesn't care. What I don't like is fruitless fighting. Okay, I like to learn. I'm always trying to learn something new. So that's all I gotta say.
And I learned something new today, and I that blew my mind. I didn't know any of that, and Miss T, I appreciate it because I love that shit. I love shit like that.
And that is something that is a huge
and thank you, Johnny.
Part of American history that is not taught in schools, and there's so much more. And one of the big conservative talking points is removing even more of what is taught, and we have things that are that big that still aren't taught, and it gets put in. It's like they give it these labels, and you're not actually listening to what you're losing. All you're hearing is, what is it they call it, critical race theory. It's not critical race theory. There's nothing critical or racial about an entire group of people. And that's what's happening, but they're labeling it that way. And also not just with Black people and with Gullah Geechee people. And please remember, when we say white in this country, it just means a group of people and their skin color. When we say Black in this country, it's not about our skin color. It's a whole culture, tradition, and history that is engulfed in that, because everything that was us was taken. And so everything that we were, we put it in this little bowl called Black. When you're white,
right,
you don't have a bowl called white. It's just your skin color. But when you take Black and white and you put them together and you're like, oh, it's just the color of your skin. We are not the same in this country. And one of the things that we have to realize is that, one, we are not the same, but two, we are all people. And we have a story, and we deserve to be listened to and heard. And Republicans in this country, whether it be the Republicans of today or the Democrats of yesterday, have worked tirelessly to erase that and erase people's humanities. Even now, it's like, I mean, back in the day, the native and indigenous people, they weren't referred to as people. They were referred to as savages. The
animals.
And animals.
I'm right here.
And our new savages and animals are undocumented.
Yeah.
You're
right.
We're repeating that same thing, but at the end of the day, we are people. And if we actually sit and talk to each other, we actually have more alike than we have unalike. But if we keep letting them other us, we're all going to be separate.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree.
I agree.
Oh, sorry.
Now, I don't remember who came in first, Zio or Smarshy. I think he was pretty close to the same.
Zio.
I'm sorry. That's why
really
doesn't matter.
I saw him in the comments. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I said it because I recognized it.
I think Zio got here slightly ahead of Smarshy.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It really doesn't matter.
I just want to say to Johnny, it's quite remarkable to me that with all the wonderful leaders and scholars in the Black community, that it took E.T.'s granddaughter, also known as Candace Owens, for you to think that she's a real American. That's absolutely bizarre to me. And the fact that you're using your white male privilege to say that talking about race is fruitless, when everything about this country is built on race and white supremacy racism. Period, full stop. So you have that privilege not to think about it. But when you walk around in this beautiful, dark, melanated skin, you are reminded of it every second of your life. So, with all due respect, your choice for picking Candace Owens as a great American who happens to be Black, and your choice for not wanting to talk about race, that says more about you, Johnny, than it does about the rest of us. Having said that, we have to understand that in this country, I happen to believe that Black people, Black Americans, have more than one enemy as far as the rest of the people that come here. White people for sure are our enemies, but every other so-called marginalized community practices anti-Blackness violently.
Because they're beneath us until they can climb over us.
Excuse me, I wasn't finished. Don't cut me off, please. Thank you. They practice anti-Blackness. They voted violently when they voted in this election, especially the Latino community. I don't care that they're being deported. If they voted for that, let's give them what they asked for. For those in Dearborn, Michigan, who voted for Donald Trump and told people, don't vote for Harris, vote for Jill Stein, who's now in some Russian cave playing with her 3 twat hairs, then you know what? Gaza is yours. And every other marginalized person, Blagga and MAGA, if you're MAGA and you're on SNAP benefits, I wanted the government to stay shut down because you all should know what it's like to have to be in the poverty lines since you voted for it. And I will land my plane here. We talk about the undocumented being rounded up and put into camps. Well, guess what? That may be 60,000. You know who's still the number one target of this administration is? Violently? Up to 350,000 to 600,000 Black women, the number one educated demographic in this country, have been fired from their jobs. 350,000 to 600,000 is the new number. That is a targeted group. Why are they doing that? Now home foreclosures are going up because those women no longer have jobs. A lot of those women are single family, one income earner families, single mothers, holding it down. So they're targeting, even though it looks like they're going after Latinos, who are about 60,000 in these being deported in these camps. 300,000 to 600,000 Black women have literally had their lives uprooted. That's something to think about. We Black people are always going to be on the chopping block. Whenever they're looking at somebody else, just know that you're going to be underneath that person. That's the structure of this country.
Yeah, thank you, Zio.
All right, can I respond? Since
well, sure.
That was kind of directed at me.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So, using my white privilege to avoid these conversations like this, because obviously I could get heated and I could go into details about how, people are being taught to hate white tea people. Like I said, I think it's fruitless. For me, I'll let you guys duke it out. I typically just try not to engage. If you wanted to devolve into a race war, so be it. My only question is, you mentioned Candace's grandfather, and you made a very audacious assumption about my respect for any other people. Okay, tell me one person right now, modern times, that's actually got the persuasion of public opinion, that's leading a charge for true justice. Like I said, when I was referring to CK, look, I don't like his wife. I don't care about Turning Point. I hope to go bankrupt. That's why I wanted to troll Erica, and it always turns into Candace. This is total. You guys, like the right and the left. This is my point. Why does the right and the left agree on one thing right now, and it's to hate Candace Owens? Can you explain that to me? Can you explain that why you're trying to ridicule me as white privilege because I appreciate Candace Owens? Please tell me somebody in the Black community right now that has the ear of the majority of Christian Zionists or the right, and even some on the left now, that's actually fighting for justice. Because like I said, when this happens to Bernie, when this happens to Nick Fuentes, when this happens to Kamala, and the FBI's like, oh, nothing to see here, nothing to see here, a 30-06 that could take a head off, Kamala's neck stopped it because it was a miracle.
Oh, hold on. A guest in your live
take issue with this?
A guest in your live has violated our misinformation policy. Zio, they're just reporting you. This is. I've got to drop you.
I did not report you, Zio.
I don't think you did, Johnny. Yeah.
Did anybody say you did?
Yeah. No.
So you drop it so you can protect your life.
Yeah.
And you bastards, you
Thank
don't
you,
like
Zio.
history, but you're gonna get it.
Yeah. Thank you, Zio. Yeah. This is every time she comes up on my panel. Literally every time. She gets.
I would like to try to answer. I don't want to answer for her.
Well, if you can do it quickly, because Smarshy has been waiting for a bit and hasn't talked yet.
You're right.
Yeah. So
just long story short, when it comes to the right, I think it was Daily Mail that Candace was working for before. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Whoever she was working for before. I really do think that Candace she's always had very conservative views. She is a huge fan of Thomas Well, who I'm a fan of as well. However, I do believe that when she was working for them, she pushed an agenda that was further right than what she actually believed. And now that she's independent, she's coming, I wouldn't say more closer to center, but closer to sane. She's still way far from left or center, but she's closer to sane. And so, she hasn't lost her sane fans. However, when she was working for whatever outlet that was that she was working for, I think that she pissed a lot of liberals off who have not actually heard a lot of the things that she's talking about now. Myself personally, the only reason I started listening to her again is because of Ryan Reynolds and that damn blonde chick he married to. And then she just started going into some awesome other stuff, and it was like, oh wow, she's making some sense. And so I've started listening to her since then, but most people on the left have not. Unless they were following her through the Ryan Reynolds thing, they have not come back over. So where you're seeing that you have people on the left and people on the right that are hating her, it's really because of her and things that she has said. It's not because there's some agenda against her.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
Miss
I know
T.
you're looking at it in real perspective, Miss T, and I'm just going to drop the topic altogether because obviously nobody wants to do their homework. Everybody just wants to eat, Red 40 and watch clips
right now,
and
so
jump
don't
into.
put down that way.
Yeah, true. True.
That's how we came to a head in the beginning. Is because
I agree.
You're making these generalized statements about people, so that's you making an enemy out of people that you don't need to.
Well, Miss T, honestly, I've yet to have a reasonable discussion about Candace with anybody.
You and I are having one right now.
In 3 months.
You and I are having one right now.
Yeah, this is the first time.
But here's the thing.
Liberal loudmouth changing the world, y'all. Reasonable discussions about E.T.'s granddaughter.
We're having a reasonable conversation. One, because somebody is definitely muting you, and two, because I'm giving you grace.
No, I mute myself.
I'm not yelling and screaming like I could do, and I'm trying to give you grace. And so that's and now you're actually hearing me. So you're actually hearing all these things in your head that are nobody can do this, nobody can do that. Yeah, they can, because you're hearing it right now. You just have to, hey, I have to do it too. And I'm not just, when I say this, please let me hold your hand when I say it, because I'm saying this to myself too. We got to shut up and listen to each other.
That's for sure. Now, I saw in the comments you wanted to respond. Please give me a second, because I'd like to listen to Smarshy, who's been waiting for a while, hasn't spoken yet. Smarshy, go ahead.
It might go before me.
Okay. Now we can't hear you. I can't understand what you're very muffled.
Is that better?
Oh God, that's like 10,000 times better. Repeat what you were saying.
I said I'm a Canadian. I just wanted to talk about the term limits because I'm not understanding how our country is like no limits. You just whoever gets in at the time of being prime minister is prime minister. If they keep getting voted in, they keep getting voted in. There's no term limits in Canada for prime
Gotcha.
minister.
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of want to understand the term limits. But no, somebody can go before me. That's no problem.
Yeah, thank you, Smarshy. I appreciate that. To defer to now, Semite, go ahead. And say what you're, and then I'm going to get to Born Kana after that. Go ahead, Semite, please.
I just wanted to mention what Johnny was talking about earlier, how you guys are headed towards a civil war. And it's quite apparent that you guys are. America is. And Trump himself needs to disparage people through ethnicity, through race, through status in order to continue to have power. And that's what he wants more than anything else. America doesn't need a civil war. It needs a revolution. You all need to stop being a part of your inherent racist nature. And America's got to be the most racist place on earth, man. And so it's really easy to divide and conquer America. And that's where I see where it's heading.
No.
Thank you for giving me a place to voice myself there, Noisy.
No, thank you, Semite. I appreciate being up, and I hope you come back. I assume you had to you said you were going to say something before you had to go. I assume you have to go. Okay. Anyway, you can drop.
I'm just going to listen for a couple more minutes before I bounce.
Okay, sure. Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Born Kana, welcome back. It's good to see you. Yeah, and you got dinged yesterday as well. Zio is hated by a lot of people in my orbit, and they come up here and just, they can't stand, an independent, truth-speaking black lady. They just can't fucking stand it. And I can tell you who's doing it. It's white liberal women that are doing that. White liberal women are the ones that attack her more so than anybody else I've seen on this app. And that's fucking fact.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. The same people, oh my God, you microaggressed me, and then they'll turn around and in private use the N-word with a hard ER.
That is an issue us women we have to work on. This is definitely, we want to make here a matriarchy, but we're doing this to each other. And this is, I'm sorry that happened to you, Sayo. I was trying to explain yesterday the things that were done in Puerto Rico. I'm in Puerto Rico. All right. So, because it's funny when people tell me, well, why don't you go back where you came from? Like, where do you want me to go? Like, I'm colonized.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but you are where you came from.
Exactly. I'm like, where do you want me to go?
I was thinking, I'm an honorary boricua, okay?
Ay, mi amor, pues te digo, you gotta come. Mira, we have a lot of African Americans are actually moving to Puerto Rico, and they're feeling, they're healing. You know what I mean?
Because people there look like us. You just gotta learn the language.
And exactly, we have one. There is this young man, Tyrone Belton, if I'm not mistaken. He came to study in the University of Puerto Rico in Mayagüez, and he's having the time. But he's like, "Wow, I am feeling so connected."
If I was not afraid of hurricane season, my ass would be there now.
But even then, mommy, we help each other. Didn't you see? Look, the last hurricane was it was our worst,
Honey, and you should have seen me run off the coast. Honey, I told you my family is from the East Coast. Honey, you should have seen me. I run from that coast every time.
Oh.
As soon as they say, "Oh," when I see, because I'm one of those crazy people that I really do, and I because here's the thing, because the way that those waves move, it follows the transatlantic slave trade. So when a hurricane is coming my way, I feel like that's my ancestors saying, "Girl, you better move."
And the Caribbean, and we were the stopping ground.
It comes right through here. Off of the coast of Africa. I'm like, nope. My ancestors said, "Girl, you better take your ass inland."
Mija,
That's funny.
My thing is, I've had to make peace with all of my genetic makeup. You know what I mean? Because what am I gonna do? I have Taino blood, I have African blood, I have Spaniard blood, I have Portuguese. Jesus, I even have Polish blood, for fuck's sake.
No, you know what you need to watch? You see, now my accent about to change just because I'm talking to you. But
Dale, it's okay. I don't take it personal.
What you need to do is it's on YouTube now, but it was a whole like thing on PBS. It's called Black in Latin America, and it literally talks about Puerto Rico, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and it talks about, it's basically it covers the entire diaspora in this hemisphere. And it is absolutely beautiful. I remember after I saw it, that's kind of when I made my peace with, people in the Caribbean, they don't want to call themselves Black and that kind of thing. And I remember I went through this thing in the 90s where it was like, oh, they don't like us. And it was like, no, what I realized was, no, they just don't.
We consider ourselves kind of Black ourselves, because we have a saying that says, y tu abuela donde está? If anybody here tries to be a little uppity, we say, y tu abuela donde está? We're in your grandmother. Where's your grandma? We're like, no, bitch.
No,
we already know. The moment I step foot in the mainland, I'm what's called passing. You know what I mean? So
you didn't see, I was showing a picture of my mom earlier. My mom is passing.
Mommy, listen, for you to understand how life is in Puerto Rico and how race works, all you have to do is look at the interviews of Roberto Clemente. This man went to the United
I feel like
States.
I just got to look at Sammy Sosa. I just got to look at him. Honey, the colorism is right there.
Oh, no. Sammy Sosa and Clemente are two different entities. Sammy Sosa un acomplejado. He didn't like his color. He's weird, okay? Because people pay for that kind of color. You know what I'm talking about? It's ridiculous. But Roberto Clemente, when he was in the United States, Jim Crow was. We didn't have that. We never had that here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when he went to the United States, you see his interviews, he's very uncomfortable. And they started calling him Bob. He was very angry. He's like, no, I am Roberto. Like, no, like this is my identity and I will not tolerate this. But this Black man he could not believe the way he was treated in the United States, because that's not how he's treated here. He is a hero. Gotcha. He was a hero back then. Look, there was this one of our greatest teachers of the smartest men, of the hombres ilustres in Puerto Rico, our far forefathers, was el great maestro Rafael Cordero. He was born free, if I'm not mistaken, but he and his family, all familia de negros. And they were the teachers, you know what I mean? And to his funeral, over 2,000 people, because he was venerated in this island. That colorism thing, it's very weird to us, but I'm not gonna say that there isn't. No. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tapar el sol con una mano.
No, it's not weird. It's not weird to you.
But
it lives in both of our cultures.
Yes, but the thing is it's like how vicious it is in the United States. Like, why is it goes to there are levels, you know what I mean?
Hold on for a second, because DJ is so concerned. The numbers are plummeting. Oh my God! So come on up and be an op-ed, since you want an argument, because I guess we're getting along too well and the numbers are plummeting. So why don't you come up and be an asshole? How about that?
Well, I mean, to be fair, this is a very specific niche topic that,
that is true. That is true.
It's
sorry, everybody. Me and
No. I'm
about to give you a follow now, because we could go on forever.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it, but I mean,
it's just the Caribbean is very nuanced. I don't know another way to imagine just one island, Haiti and Dominican Republic. These people are brother and sisters, and look how them fighting. It's ridiculous. But you know what? This is an old wound they have, and they're gonna have to work it out. It's like a family dynamic. You know what I mean? We Puerto Ricans from the one side, Jamaicans in the other. We're like, can't you guys like like you're literally sharing an island. Like it's an island.
Honey, that gets when you talk about Haiti and Dominican Republic, I'm like, are you crazy?
It's crazy, girl. That border is weird, man. The border in Chile and Peru is weird too. I think the border that is very peaceful in Latin America is the one in Costa Rica and Panama. Like it's there's no wall. It's like chill. You can cross from one to another. It's really chill. But look, man, Haiti and Dominican. I sometimes I look and you guys are brothers. We're all brothers in the Caribbean, brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. Like, are we really doing this? Like, we're paid by everyone.
We be doing it. We be doing it. We be doing it. And then, as a matter of fact, now they're trying to make it even worse. Now, all of a sudden, we got these new groups on TikTok that are trying to divide. African Americans from Africans, and it's
wild.
Weird. It's weird. Like you said,
I just found out that there is this thing called EBN or EB. What is that? EB?
No, it's FBA.
FBA. What's that?
What are y'all talking about? Because
so it's
I just found this out.
It's a hate group. So first of all, here's the two things. It's kind of like BLM, right? Where BLM was a movement, and then there was a very smart lady who got the idea to trademark it. She trademarked it, and then all of a sudden you start asking people for donations, and then you get people who are like, "Oh, BLM is a fraud." It's like, we don't even know this bitch. And so it's kind of the same way that somebody tried to dismantle BLM, except in reverse. But with this one, the FBA it is a terror, it is a
T-word. What, just put that.
Yeah. So FBA, what is FBA? In like
Foundational Black Americans.
Yeah, it's Foundational Black Americans, but there's two different things. Here's the thing. So it's like you can look it up, and when you look it up, you're gonna see the hate group. However, the people who are talking about it on TikTok and the way that it's growing now, it has nothing to do with that group. It's actually
what are the words? What are the letters? Because that's maybe what I had wrong. Because I was trying to look for this earlier, and I was at B.
It's
It's actually erasing Black history.
Yeah, hold on, Johnny. So it's FBA, which is Fundamental Black Americans, which this group of, it's a hate group is the word I was looking for, not the T word, but it's a hate group. But it's basically like, hey, we are, and then not only that, they got history all messed up where they're like, oh, we're not descendants of slaves, we were the natives first, and they crazy. What? Yeah, girl, they don't make no sense. Don't try to make don't ask me to make sense of their craziness. But
I think I walked into one of these groups like months ago. Now I'm confused.
Okay,
Black people, Caribbean people, and it's got Black people, Caribbean people, and African people basically arguing with each other over who's the most Black.
Okay.
Or who's native to this land? Are they really discussing who's native to the continent?
Girl, when I tell you it's a bunch of idiots, it's a bunch of idiots.
All right. So I don't know anything about this. I've looked it up. I'm not even showing anything, so I don't know what it is that you're talking about.
It's the fundamental Black Americans. It's
foundational.
Foundational. That's where I'm messing it up. That's foundational. I'm sorry.
That is crazy. I just found this out this morning, but now that you're telling me about this native thing, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I walked into one of these groups like a month ago, but I wasn't sure what it was, and it sounded weird and sounded angry, so I left.
So may tell
themselves. Believe it or not, Miss T, it actually makes me sad because it is literally a movement to erase Black culture. It actually is.
But it sounds like it sounds like a movement to erase Native culture.
No, it's a movement. It's a movement to divide people of color, because what has basically happened, what's been happening in this country over the past few years is people of color have been coming together. I think it is designed to separate people of color.
Like our music is the best.
So it separates Black people.
Music. And when we make food together, we make the best food.
Okay, from what I'm reading is that it's separating them based on whether they were direct descendants of slavery or not.
Exactly.
No.
And before
so
this,
they're not their native.
Well, hold on real quick. Hey, Beach Geek, what's up?
Hey man, I just wanted to check in with something. I heard around the pike that you were like cutting people loose because of other people who they followed, And you know I'm never going to betray you. I follow a bunch of different people, but I'm never going to betray you or anybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely cutting people loose. Yeah, and that would include you. So goodbye.
Damn.
Miss F, come up, please. I need a friend.
Because let me tell you something. And I don't know if it was Beach Geek. This is the guy that reached out, or the name of a person. I just blocked you, Beach. I'm sure you got your little fucking minions in here recording and shit, so you can go, oh my God, look what Liberal Loudmouth said. He had this black person on there, and they were talking about FBA, and somehow this is like a bad thing. You guys will fucking characterize shit in whatever fucking way. This guy, well, I don't know, I'm being sarcastic. This guy, or at least somebody called Beach Geek, reached out to me on Discord, wanting my goddamn address. Same day I had another motherfucker reach out for my address. I want to make you a fucking floor mat, Liberal. I want to make you a floor mat. And of course I gave him a fucking fake address. These people have been coming after me, so don't come up here, Beach. You dual paneling little shitwad. Okay, you was on her fucking live, supporting her shit. You came over here on my live at the same goddamn time, fucking trying to play both sides of the fence. Fuck you and fuck everybody associated with you. Fuck Mojo. Fuck all these bitches. Leave me the fuck alone. Stay out of my fucking space. If you don't like me, stay the fuck away. Just stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to associate with you. I had motherfuckers last night pissed off because I blocked somebody that is in conversation with a bitch that has been coming at me for 8 months. She's been trying to get this shit canceled. These motherfuckers sat up there on that panel and gaslit the fuck out of me, trying to make me feel bad because I blocked somebody that was private messaging this bitch and acting. I didn't have anything to do with it. We weren't talking about you, Liberal Loudmouth. Oh, and here are Discord messages from like 2 days ago. And you want to act like you weren't talking about me, you fucking cunts? So yeah, I blocked all you bitches, so come at me again. When I see you again, you're going to get fucking blocked. So build your fucking accounts, create 10,000 email addresses and fucking phone numbers, and keep coming in here because for some fucking reason, you bitches want to flick your fucking bean to this fucking face and you can't get enough of it because you just keep coming back. I don't know what the fuck it is about me that you love so much, but y'all just keep coming back in here. You want to trash me and watch me. So get fucked. Anyway, all right, enough of that. So FBA is a group of people that are separating black people whether they were enslaved or not. It says here that it's closely related to American descendants of slavery movement that was popularized by Tariq Nasheed. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, he's a pimp.
No idea.
He was literally a freaking pimp.
A pimp, like an actual like
exactly a pimp. And he's pimp. He is pimping black
He is
Americans.
giving me all the tea. Oh my God. What is it? Like,
girl, I can't say. I've had a couple of conversations with him, and I got a headache just thinking about him.
With who? Tariq?
No, I mean the whole FBA movement.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know much about it, so I can't really speak on it too much.
Yeah, I don't.
And honestly, I'll be true. Like, I mean, I think Zio is in the comments. I think she kind of disagreed with something that I said, but I've looked them up online and I've had a few conversations and I just couldn't wrap my head around anything any of them were saying.
Got a question?
Yeah, what's up, Dina?
I'm gonna jump in here. Listen, are you on Discord as well? Because I'll tell you something. I'm on Discord with a couple of groups, and I love it. I love it. So, would you mind if I followed your Discord? What is it, Liberal Loudmouth?
Okay. So Dina, you're gonna come at. You're gonna come up. Listen.
Well, come on, let me speak, Miss T. Come on. Mute up.
So I dropped my Discord down from almost 200 people to like 6. And there's still a motherfucking mole in there. Somebody has been with me since almost the beginning, is claiming to be my friend, and continues to send screenshots, which, for the record, I don't even give a fuck. Like, I would go through and we'd have story time, and I'll read every goddamn message that I've ever sent in the fucking Discord. I don't care, but that's beside the point. Like, the fact that these sneaky little motherfuckers go in there pretending to be my friend, look what I got, and sending these things around is fucking weird. These people are fucking weird, and these are white liberals. These are fake fucking people. A lot of them are Zios. They just happen to be, like, that's one of the fucking connective tissues between these motherfuckers is their Zionist fucking mentality. And they try to fucking fake it. They won't talk about it. They'll shut it down. They'll mute. They won't make a statement about it because they don't want people to realize that they fucking love what Israel is doing. And they won't say that, but that's, at the end of the day, it is. So there's these fucking groups out there that are doing this shit. So no, Dina, I shut my fucking Discord down because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, right? I just want to come up here, do my fucking panel, do my show, shut it down. Y'all can come and watch it, or you don't have to. But, you know, I'm just not doing this shit.
And also, liberal, I just wanted to say this as well. When I was up here, my gosh, Miss T, you've been doing nothing but talking. Can I have just 1 minute and then I'll let you have it, okay?
No worries.
I just want to say, liberal, the other day when I was up here and I was on your panel, I was of one mind, okay, that two-state solution and all this other, I thought I had it, you know. I generally research everything I talk about, and that was one of the most enlightening panels I ever had, which made me do a deep, deep search. And I'll tell you something, after that, you should have those people up here all the time, every day, seriously, because Americans are uneducated when it comes to that situation over there. So, again, I thank you for that.
Okay.
Hey, liberal. Can I maybe calm you down and make you feel good a little bit and maybe make you laugh?
Wait, calm me down?
I just want to give you a laugh.
You want to calm me down?
I want to give you a laugh. Usually people calm down when they laugh.
I don't think that I need to be calmed down. If I were to tell you, Miss T, to calm down, how would you feel about that?
I would be very upset. That's why I tried to switch it up and say I just want to make you laugh.
Right.
I tried to backpedal. No, what I actually want to say is I actually am very good at code switching, being that I've lived in Alabama for as long as I have. And I just ordered a new phone. And when I get my new phone that comes in, I wouldn't mind being your own little mole if you wanted. If you wanted to send me out and, hey, I could talk to whoever, and I promise they would not suspect this face.
That's funny.
I know I can make you laugh.
That is funny. No, and see, look, that's the thing. Like, look,
that was serious. I would do that for you.
I'm not a social person, so I guess my mistake was that I didn't go around and like market myself to these other groups, but you know, they've spread this fucking hate for me amongst other groups, and they try to act like it's not happening, but I mean, we literally saw it last night. I mean, fucking over 200 people in there, and just sheer fucking hatred for me, even though I don't fuck with people. Like I just, you know, I don't really talk shit about somebody unless they fucked with me first. I don't do videos about people. I don't fucking trash people, but they just can't get enough. I don't know if it's a sexual thing. I don't know if it's a fucking, I don't know what it is. Just oh my God, we're going to finally at some point make him do what we tell him to do, because that's at the end of the day what started this all. White fucking people wanting me to cower in the face of them threatening my show and wanting me to comply with what they wanted me to do. That's what started this whole goddamn thing. And now they just are we're going to make him do what we say. We're going to make him do what we say. Yeah, these people who in public will say one thing and then in private use the fucking N-word with the hard ER, by the way, and pretend to be great liberal fucking women. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Fake ass motherfuckers.
This is the first I've heard of it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked, because I come in and out of these lives. I don't stay very long, you know that. But from what I can gather from other people, you've got one of the most popular lives. So don't exaggerate the number of people, because it can't be that big. It's got to be just a few. It just takes a few to make up.
Whoa. Did you say it can only be just a few people that are coming after me?
Yes. Because
that is some bullshit.
You've got a very popular live. I'm telling you, I haven't heard anything bad about you. Nothing.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
but
it's
I
just
don't know
one
the
or two people.
situation.
It's just one or two people. That's it. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what
I'm
the
not
fuck
discounting what
I
you're saying.
didn't just
Take a
live through
shot.
this shit. I didn't just live through this shit. Tell me what
I
it
am
is
so
that's going
sorry.
on. Yeah.
I am so
Please.
sorry. But I'm just
Like,
saying that I
what
haven't
the
heard
fuck?
anything. I haven't
Jesus
heard
Christ.
anything.
You have no idea what's going on. And
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm just telling you, it's not just a few people. It's not.
Plant. She pushed it too hard. That's
Yeah,
plant.
it's
Well,
not.
I'll tell you
In
what.
the first thing out of your mouth was, "Can I get on your Discord?" Even though I just said that they got a fucking mole in there. Like,
Oh, well,
I like really.
well, that's the reason I said that is because I'm just learning Discord and I'm finding out that I really, really like it.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
they-
useful.
Can I get an invite to the Discord too, please?
Ain't
No,
nobody
I don't
getting
want to. I don't want to after all
Ain't
this.
nobody
My
getting
God,
an invite to the
forget
Discord.
I said it.
No, I just shut it down. I was
Black
like, you know
woman,
what? Fuck
I'm gonna
this
tell
shit.
y'all right now. Can't nobody else go in the Discord, okay? Y'all didn't hear what he just said?
Yeah.
Ain't no invites. Can't nobody come to the cookout. Shit. I'm gonna be the angry black woman today. Don't ask no more. No.
Oh,
Can't nobody go.
please, come on,
Misty.
Misty.
We done.
I think
no.
I think you
no,
misunderstand what
you
I'm
getting annoying
saying,
as fuck
liberal.
now. No,
I
because
really
liberal,
do. But I'm
liberal is
just
way
telling you
too
that
techy.
you have one of the
I
most
don't want to take
popular
it.
lives.
Liberal is way
And
too. No,
it's just,
you know what you're doing.
I'm
At this point, you know
surprised
what
by
you're
it. I'm
doing.
really surprised.
At
Well,
this point, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like, look, it's been a constant thing. Like, it's been constant, and I don't talk about it a lot, and that probably to my own detriment. I talk about it whenever somebody posts one of the 40 videos over the course of a 2-week period that somebody did in conjunction with others claiming to be my friend. Like, it's been fucking weird, guys. It's been weird. It's been very weird. Like, TikTok is so goddamn
the common
toxic.
denominator has got to be the little star people. I'm sorry, but
Well, last night they told me, well, liberal, if everybody hates you, then there's a common denominator. It's what they told me last night on the panel. If everybody hates you, it must be you, liberal.
No.
Yeah,
I've been waiting.
Yeah,
I mean,
they said
I'm
it multiple
for you to
times.
rant about Connor again, liberal. I kind of like when you crash out about Connor. That's very
fucking
passionate.
that little
Been
rabbi
waiting for
schmooly,
it.
fucking kosher dildo loving IDF soldier, fucking baby unaliver. Yeah, that guy. No, I
Can I
blocked
ask
him.
you guys a question that may seem kind of crazy? Well, not crazy, but maybe it just seems because people throw the word around.
Fire away.
What in the heck does Zionist mean?
Well, essentially, it's supremacy. It's been hijacked into being just a supremacist mentality. Yeah.
That doesn't help me, especially seeing that it's something that's used against a specific group of people. Like, I don't get
it's
that.
very vague. It's very vague, and even from the Christian Zionist perspective, it's very vague, and it's about a promise in the Old Testament or the Torah about how the land would be divided up for the sons of Jacob, who is named Israel. So, okay, this is the problem with it. And, as men of old have said, these people are living out their Old Testament vengeance. And it's not just Israel, it's not just Zion, it's not just some holy mountain or altar or temple or anything like that. It's literally a land grab, and it's outlined specifically in the Torah or the Old Testament.
Well, I mean, when we start talking, no, here's the thing. When we start talking about that, that's a whole different conversation that I completely and totally understand. When we start talking about the division of Palestine, and the Ottoman Empire and all that other stuff, that and not to mention the fact that I am. When it comes to, let's put it like this, I believe in the God of Abraham, and I look at the Trinity as being Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So when it comes to those religions and that particular fight, that I understand completely. What I don't understand is because I hear it being thrown around so much in so many different contexts. People are like, "Oh, Zion is this and Zion is that." Please, there's like I don't need a history lesson in Abrahamic religions. I need to know why in the heck is it being. Then it's like, oh, Christian Zionist and Zionist this, and it's like what does that mean when people are saying it? It's starting to sound like the N-word. because nobody seems to have a meaning for it.
Well, I mean, I gave you one. It boils down to supremacy.
No, you didn't. You just said, it just means supremacy.
I said it boils down to supremacy.
That was so simplistic that it still left me confused.
That's really as simple as that's as simple as you can get it.
You get a word in there.
They believe.
Can I intervene here? Can I explain this a little better? Okay. The thing is, there has to be.
I wasn't trying to talk at all. Fucking hell. I wasn't trying to talk at all. Okay. Goodbye. You guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate it.